Hello, 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 guten Abend, hello, willkommen, welcome, bienvenue, come on in, hello, welcome everybody, it is Fox here from Model Making Guru, hello, 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 welcome, hopefully you can all see me and hear me okay, please let me know if you can't see me or even hear me even. I can't even use words today, so that doesn't hold out much hope. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. It is Sunday. It is Sunday, the Sunday of Sundays, and that means it is Warhammer Sunday. It's the weekend time when I do my Warhammery goodness, aside from other builds during the week, and normally it's where I work on my Warhammer army, the unending forces of the Holy Contrivance. But I've not been for the last few weeks, because I'm trying to catch up with my Warhammer Conquest stuff, so I've been getting all the bits from Warhammer Conquest built and ready for painting later on in the year. So welcome to not the normal Warhammer Sunday, but the one where I'm just building stuff. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've never seen one of these before, it's 3 hours of me just waffling at the microphone here and talking to you guys in the chat here. You can see the chat here, there, that's the chat there, but I can see it on my iPad here. Hanging out with you guys, chatting for 3 hours while I do the bare minimum of work needed to constitute some sort of live stream. Yeah, it doesn't get a lot of work done, really. But yes, I'll be working on this. As always, don't forget, if you want to join in the live chat, you can see it here, but if you want to join in the typey chat, because I'll be giving hang on. Enormous tea, hang on. Right, maybe I can talk normally now. Big swig of tea. It's very warm today, so I might not last long. If you want to join in the live chat and do some typey stuff as well, because I'm going to give stickers away, you just need to make sure you're watching on YouTube. So go to the YouTube icon that's down in most players, Mama Fox, on most players, she told me off about this last week, on most players, if you go down here in the YouTube menu bar where the play button and stuff is, there should be a YouTube icon. Click on that. It'll take you to the YouTube page where you can join in the live chat on most platforms. We'll be doing sticker giveaways and things later on, so you do want to join in. If you want to ask me a question, for the love of dog, please do. It gives me something to talk about. Put your question in big fat capital letters in the chat so I have a chance of seeing it. The chat is there for me, so I probably won't miss it. Put it in big fat capital letters if you want to. You can do a super chat, which is a little dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. That will also put your comment in a big coloured box, and it will make a noise on the screen, and it'll ping a little animation in the top right corner up here somewhere, and it's awesome, and I won't have any choice but to see your comment then. So you can do that if you want. Now, as always, don't forget, we are doing the stream boss battle, which is here. It does say Model Making Guru, but the stream boss at the moment, your current Lord and Saviour and God of all things, is Kevin, also known as Simon Reynolds, who's in the chat. He is our current stream boss. His health is at 80,326. If you don't know what that is, many weeks ago he started out with 100,000 health, and you guys are slowly whittling his health down. Whoever gets him to 0 health will win between 200 to 500 quid's worth of Warhammer and Forge World goodness, kits or products or tools or whatever. There's a lot to play for. How do you get his health down to 0? Dead simple. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell. That takes a tiny amount of Kevin's health off. If you do a super chat, again, the little dollar symbol at the bottom of the window, that takes some of his health off as well. And if you want to, you can put a tip through the tip jar, which is down there. Streamlabs.com. I'm talking rubbish already. Shall I just stop? Streamlabs.com/Model Making Guru. Again, if you put a tip through, that takes some of his health off. And the amount of health you take off depends on how much you put through as a tip or a super chat. The subscribing to the channel is a fixed amount, but tip and super chat, the more you put through, the more of his health you take off. All the money raised through the tips and the super chats goes into a big fat pot called PayPal. And if you get him to 0, I will then tell you how much budget you have to play with. You choose all the things you want from Games Workshop or Forge World or both, and I will order them and send them to you at no cost to you, aside from probably import charges from your local tax authority. But other than that, it's all completely free. So yes, get putting your super chats and tips and things through. See if you can get Kevin. He's been stream boss for a while. Oh, and if you get him to 0, you also become the new stream boss. And if I hadn't messed it up, the stream boss can actually add health back to himself, but he can't do it at the minute. So sorry about that. So we're going to do some building. I say I'm carrying on with the Chaos Rhino this week. If you remember last week, I was kind of doing some bits and bobs. I've gone a bit further and I've put the doors on the side and stuff. I have glued together the two top sort of doors here, but I haven't glued them in place. They are movable, and that tape's on there just to make that point. And I haven't glued this top part on. I have actually glued the back door in place because it wouldn't stay shut, despite me following Dad's advice. Oh, Quano Man, £2 says burp. If I get a burp building up, I'll do one just for you, Quano Man. Thank you very much for that. Very kind of you. You can see there, hopefully, on my chat window there. I get a big colour box with that comment, a big blue box, so I can't miss your super chats. Also, you get that coming up in the corner of the screen as well. So there you go. Thank you very much, Chrono Man. I'll try and store up a big burp for you. I can't swig my tea and do a burp because my tea's really hot. Yes, so I've not glued the top of the hull on either. I've glued that in place because it kept falling open, but if I do want to paint the interior, I've got the option then that I don't need to glue that top on because it's actually a really nice tight fit. It's not coming off. It's nice and it's not exactly seamless, but it's going to be a chaos tank anyway, so it's going to be battered and beaten and roughed up and chipped and rusted. So this little gap down the side, even if I glued this together, it would kind of still be there, but it just looks like normal panelling on a vehicle. So I can actually just leave that unglued. It's stiff enough that it's not going to pop out. It's just a pity you don't get a cab. It would be really awesome if they actually gave you a cab to put in there, because that's like on the Taurox. You can see the driver and stuff in the Taurox, and you do get this bay here with the little computer screens and stuff, but just a shame you don't get a cab and a driver really. But it's an old kit, so there you go. So that's where we're up to. So today it's just a case of putting it on the right way around. Your spoon. It's just a hello, I quit. It's just a case of putting on all the greebles today, all the millions of little extra chaosy bits. If this was a regular Rhino, I've got to do the Cupola as well, the guy that goes in here. If this was a regular Rhino, we'd have the dude on top and a weapon of some sort, and that would probably be about it. But because it's a chaos vehicle, you get an extra sprue with chaosy bits, and that's usually why you pay more. Now, this is the Warhammer Conquest Chaos Rhino. For those that you don't know, I am doing the Hachette part work. It's the Warhammer Conquest. It's 100 issues over 2 years, and over those 2 years, you get to gradually build up an entire Death Guard army and an entire Space Marines, Ultramarines army, including vehicles and all kinds of bits and bobs and scenery and textures. And I'm on the premium pack, so I get all the extra gameplay bits as well. And it's very big thanks to one of my patrons, George, who's in chat again today, who's helping me with that. He's helping me be able to subscribe to that. So I am slowly filming the painting of the models. Some of them are going to be painted and filmed like the magazine suggests, following the magazine verbatim. And frankly, it's not the best paint job in the world, but we're going to repaint them later anyway. And some of them, like this, will be given their own proper professional paint job later down the line. So all I'm doing is, for the next few months, because all the issues are piling up in my spare room and I'm not going anywhere near them, I'm getting them all built and out of the packing built, so I can put them in a skirmish case or on the shelf or in my cupboard, just out of the way, so that later on, when I've got the Cesabi and the Millennium Falcon out of the way, I can crack on with these and get the painting videos coming back again. So for now, we're just getting these built up. Let's have a quick look at the chat before we get going. Let's see how we're doing today. So welcome all. Hope you're all fine and dandy. It's a very nice warm day today. Let's have a look. I can't go back all the way up till about me putting stuff about Patreon in there. So I know we've got Quano Man in. Welcome, Quano Man. And Dad and Chris from Gross Models. 2 of your mods are in, of course. And Dave from Butcher That Model, another one of your mods. Those guys are in. They're lovely, lovely guys. Soft as butter. They'll look after you. But if you cross them, they'll break you in half with their little finger. So don't cross them. But be nice. Now remember, this is nothing to do with my sponsors, E-Models. This is my stream. If you want to use big rude words in the chat, you can do. I don't care. I'm not going to use them on the stream because it's monetized. But I don't care if you use grown-up words in the chat. Doesn't bother me at all. I just won't read them out. We have Nim is in. Welcome, Nim. We have Nim from New York. Redlen08 is in. Welcome, Redlen. More Draka09 is in. Cripes Fox, where did you drag these tunes up from? If you'd never actually watched, there's about half an hour of music before the show goes live. That's there for a very specific reason. One, it's so you guys can hang out and just get to know each other in chat and have a bit of a chat, without me around. Also, it's so I can go off and make my enormous cup of tea and get everything ready and make sure all the lights are working. Make sure the stream's up and running. It gives me half an hour of getting ready time. But yeah, it's just it's all just sort of free to use music. I used to use my own music, but I've only got about 10 or 11 pieces, and it kind of got the same pieces all the time. It was a bit boring. So I'll probably bring them back at some point if I can get half an hour of them together. But I used to use my own stuff. I've just not sorted it out yet. We have Simon Reynolds, of course, Kevin, our Lord and Saviour, Kevin, Stream Boss Kevin. This is not Model Making Guru. I pressed all the wrong buttons and yeah, never mind. Si's in. We have, who else we got in? conversation we had. Snowman HFC popped in. I'm probably missing some people because I can't go all the way back to the very start with the chat. Gaz Vickers is in. Welcome, Gaz. Ghost Lyle popped in briefly to say hello. Can't stay. Just here to comment a pineapple. And then I realised I don't know how you do. How do you do emoji in this chat? I tried doing the colon and the word, but it didn't work. So unless I spelt it wrong, how do you do emoji little symbols? We have George, of course. George Gabriel is in. My very good friend George. We have, who else is in? Let's have a look. Let's have a look who we've got. Lots of conversation going on between George and Liam and Dad and Chris. Eon's car is in. Hello there. Welcome, Eon. Scott Sutherland from Orkney. Always have to wiggle my puff in when Scott comes in. I shouldn't really say that out loud. Talk about Secret Santas. Just Django is in. Hello, hello. Welcome, Just Django. Jamie Bone is in. Welcome, Jamie. Let me guess, roast chicken with all the trimmings. Who else do we have? TK is in. Another one of your mods is in today, looking after you. So TK over at TK's Models. Welcome, TK. We have... Nim says, hey, where's Pascal? I don't know. I was the first one to comment when I set the stream up and I said, haha, first. But Pascal was nowhere to be seen. Maybe Pascal's away or working or something. I don't know. David Corden, welcome, David, says, that's some milky tea right there. Yeah, you see, I'm a coffee drinker. So when I have tea, and the only reason I have this big cup of tea on a Warhammer Sunday is because when I get up in the morning, this cup is filled with coffee. And that's enough for me for like hours then. So I don't need to do another litre of coffee right after a litre of coffee. Otherwise, I will be weeing like a racehorse. So I go for a litre of tea, but I'm not a big tea drinker, so I tend to make it too milky. But then again, it's a nice builder's tea, so I don't mind big milky builder's tea. But welcome, David. Simon Reynolds says, I need words with you, by the way. I watched the Sazabi Patreon stream this morning, becoming a Patreon peeps, where you mentioned blankety blank checkbooks. Then you sang the theme song like 10 times in the stream. Now it's stuck in my head. Super match game. Boom. I nearly bought. I nearly bought one or something, says Sarah Reynolds. Yeah, I nearly bought a blankety blank checkbook and pen once. Nearly. I didn't in the end, but I nearly did buy a blankety blank checkbook and pen. Yeah, he does that, says Gross Models. Super match game? Yes. I'm talking rubbish already, Sherlock Holmes there, says Paul at Team Inept. Oh, welcome, Paul, another one of your mods. Paul from Glue to the Sprue, but because he hasn't set up a YouTube channel for himself, he refuses to do videos. He has to schmooze off the back of Team Inept channel. But it's Paul from Glue to the Sprue. But Team Inept, like and subscribe. If you don't know what Team Inept is me, Chris from Gross Models, and Paul from Glue to the Sprue. Doing video game stuff, although it's mostly Chris and Paul because I don't get a chance to do video games very often. I will never be silent, says Cy Reynolds. Dave says to Paul, hello, how's your spud bum? I don't even want to know what that's about. When Haywood's Wake on Wayne says, you can't say blankety blank without saying it 3 times. Blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank. A Superman. No, stop it. It does get stuck in your head though. Let's have a look. Doodle-doo. Don't do it. I knew it. Curse you, says Size. I'm singing the blankety blank theme. Like and subscribe or else, says Paul. TK gives an update on his daughter. His little one is doing great. His new daughter. Just Django says my internet is super screwy, so I'll probably be on and off from the stream. Eon's car says I drink water and or soft drinks. My routine is typically that I will, of a day, is I'll have this big litre of coffee when I get up in the morning because by God do I need a litre of coffee to get me awake. I'll have a big litre of coffee in the morning and then around about lunchtime I won't actually usually drink 2 of these, but I might have one of these at lunchtime to keep me going through the afternoon. And then when it gets to like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, for the rest of the day, I'm just drinking water or diluted juice, but usually just water. I've got a pint glass that I drink water. Pascal is in. Pascal says, I tried the alkali paints, but now I can't breathe without a mask. Pascal, yes, I am back. Welcome, Pascal. I'm lurking currently painting some spoons for my Sazabi. Yes. Welcome, Pascal. We wondered where you were. Right, swig of tea. I'm up to date with the chat. I need to get some tissue ready because it's all collecting in my moustache and moustaches. I haven't trimmed my moustache in about 5 weeks, so it's sucking up tea again. And let's do some work, shall we? So, how is everyone? I hope you're all well. It's about time for Dad to ask a particular question, so I'll let Dad do that now. But I hope you're all well. Hope you're all having a good summer so far. Right, what have we got to do? So on this, we're going to be adding all the bits and bobs. Thy creator is in. Hi Fox, hi guys, welcome Thy creator. Let's see if I have any news to update you with today. I have 2 sprues to work with, lots of bits and bobs, and more chaos bits and bobs. And here we have all the bits and bobs for the Cupola and the Dude, the Chaos Space Marine, and the other bits and bobs. Already done it, Fox. Okay, I didn't notice the last, but what's in your bench? Nobody's answered it yet then. What's in your bench and what's on your belly? Obviously, if you added it, Dad, nobody read it. People don't ignore Dad. When Dad says things, Dad doesn't speak often, but when he does, it's a great import. So always listen to Dad. Yes, what's in your belly and what's on your bench? What are you working on right now? And what is your planned dinner for the evening? Or what have you had for your evening meal, if you've already had it? Right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to start out the Cupola with the Dude in it. It says, there are several ways to build the weapons, gear and gunner. Read through all of the instructions before you choose how to build yours. It's actually a bit confusing. You can have the gunner. I like that idea. I don't know if you can see it. You can have the... see if I can zoom in a bit. Doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Let me zoom in. Let me find the zoomy tool. Zoomy tool. I love the fact on here it kind of gives you some options. Where's that thing gone? There it is. It gives you some options, but you can have the gunner. Where's the camera? Where's the camera? You can have the gunner sticking all the way out, nowhere at all, or just popping his head out. It's like one of them like whack-a-rat or whack-a-mole games where you hit the thing with the hammer as he pops his head out. That's quite adorable, really. He's like, hello, I can see you, but you can't see me, so I'm hidden. And this one's like, I'm shooting you now. Shooting you with the bullets, bye. So, yeah, it's quite adorable. But we'll have him leaning out and shooting at weapons of some sort. So I'll zoom back out again. There we go. So what have we got? So we can have... No matter which weapons you choose, don't worry, the data sheet will have playing Rhino. Excuse me 1 second. Sudden tickle at the back of my throat there. Data sheet you will have, so you can choose different weapons, and you've got data sheets for all of them. Now for the Cupola you can have, obviously there's 2 of them. So on one of them you can have the Dude sticking out with his weapon, or poking his head out but not using a weapon, or just have it closed. And for the one on the right, excuse me, you can have... I haven't got the data sheet here with me, so I can't tell you what the weapons are, but I'm going to guess there's like a missile launcher. That's a... don't know what that is, but it looks like a shouty demon mouth. Is that some kind of Vox system? I don't know what that is. Anybody who can tell me off the top of the head, because I haven't got the data sheet in front of me. You can have a missile launcher, a light, or a shouty grill of some sort that looks like a demon mouth. I'm going to guess it's some kind of Vox caster, maybe, for propaganda-ish purposes. I don't know. So let's have a look and see. So we can do a... Weapons-wise, we can have a combi bolter, it looks like. Some sort of twin-linked combi... Oh, no, it's a... I don't know what the weapons are. I've got no idea. Let's just put them together. Let's see what we've got. So I shall do, I think... Oh, you've only got one choice of weapons. It's the weapon. Okay, that's cool. I can do that then. Data sheet is at the back of the issue in your hand, says Butcher that model. Apart from, this isn't the magazine. It's just the instructions and the painting instructions. I've separated these bits out. So I've not... the magazine's stored away in the folder. I've just taken out the bits I need for the building. Let's have a look. Nim says he's not going to see this again. What? Not going to see what? Don't you dare at Quano Man. Everyone's answered. How did I miss all the chat? Where's it all gone then? Did I just... the chat must have jumped like a... right. I got lost in... It's only 80 issues, Fox, not 100, says More Dracket. You're right, I'm getting confused with the X-Wing one. My apologies. Let's have a look. Yes, I think the chat jumped and I missed it, of course. So Simon Reynolds is working on the Sazabi, of course. Belly shreddies, slow cook beef for short ribs tonight, so saving space. Yes. We did a slow cook the other day, but instead of putting mince in there, or beef mince or something, we just jammed a load of sausages in it. It just came out like sausage casserole. It was really nice. Dad says, on the bench is a Ridge Runner, belly full roast from the care home today. Woohoo! I have been working on my Ridge Runner. I've just put down a base coat of yellow so far. Just a base coat of Avalanche Sunset to start with. We've got lots of things to do on this. That's just the pure base coat for the moment. I've got a plan for that. I did pick up. Here we go. This is going to be my... It's not done any work yet. This is going to be... I'll zoom in because it's only little. It's going to be my test pig. I'm working on the Sazabi, but I've started filming this. It's going to be the test pig for the paint job on my Sazabi, because the Sazabi, as you know, is going to have hopefully going to have a Borderlands style paint job, which means not cel shaded, but like comic book style. So it's going to have a Borderlands style paint job. But before I go ahead and just paint that all over the Sazabi and potentially make a mess of it and screw it up, I want to test it out. So I got myself the little Ridge Runner. I've got this all built up with some extra greebles stuck on. And what I'm going to do is a test pig, so I'm going to try out the technique. So I've got myself the Ridge Runner, obviously. I've shown you before, I got myself some India ink, some proper grown-up India ink for the outlining. I also went ahead and got a couple of contrasty paints. I primed it with the Grey Seer Contrast Primer, because it's just purely because it's the right colour. But I also got some Grey Seer because I'll need to touch up some bits that I cover in the yellow later on. I also got myself some contrast paints. I got Griff Charger Grey and I got Space Wolves Grey. Now the reason I got these two, and I know they look blue but they're more just like grey, the reason I got these two is that I suddenly realised if you look at some of the vehicles from Borderlands, there's no actual, or a lot of, pretty much anything in Borderlands and Borderlands 2, there's no metallics. There's pretty much no metallics anywhere. There's no shiny metals. All the metallic things are just greys, just different shades of grey or going up to white. So what I'm going to try, and it might look like ass when I've finished, I don't know, but it might look terrible, but what I'm going to try and do is basically, instead of painting any metallics on this, use the same technique. Use the contrast paints to create the kind of, not a non-metallic metal, but just like a shaded grey look. So I've gone with the Grey Seer because it's about the right kind of light grey colour. I'll go with those two contrast paints. I'll also use things like Null Oil and some other shades as well, and other things, just do wet blending and get the metallic effects. But the idea is that by the time it's finished, we'll have a properly fully painted and weathered vehicle, but with no metallics, just different shades of grey. So what I'll need to do is get all the yellow painted on, do it shaded, get shading on it, get it weathered and dry brush and everything else, and then go in, touch up all the Grey Seer, which is why I got myself a little pot of the Grey Seer to go and touch it up, and then go and do my contrast paints and get all that on there. So that's the plan. So I'm going to be trying that out. I hadn't actually realised that until I started getting the paints for it, and I thought, oh, hang on, there's no metallics on this, so I've got to not paint metallics. Now, on the Sazabi, I will be doing metallics. I'm not going completely the Borderlands route, because I will want some... What's that from? Oh, yeah. I will want some shiny metallics on the Sazabi, especially on the inner frame, but I'll still be doing the Borderlands style. But I thought, if I'm going to paint this Borderlands style, it looks a bit like... It looks very much like the Bandit Technical from Borderlands 2, which is one of the reasons I quite liked it. It's not actually as bright. Let me just adjust my brightness a bit, because it seems a bit pallid. Hang on, let me just adjust the colours a little bit for you. No, that's far too bright. That's probably far too pale. Oh, hello, welcome to 1939. Yes. I can't quite get the exact yellow right, but it's around about there somewhere anyway. It's that kind of... It's actually redder than that. I can't quite get the right colour. It's maybe something like that, maybe? Something... I don't know. It's all gone wrong now anyway, so we'll just leave it alone. I'll just put it back the way it was. So yes, so... It looks a bit like the Bandit Technical. If I thought about it, I could have built a barrel launcher in the back, because I've got spare barrels lying around. I could have built a barrel launcher in the back like a Bandit Technical, but I never So that's the plan. So yes, I've got myself the inks. I've got some contrasty paints. It may come out looking like ass. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's have a look. Nim says bench 100 scale 1/100 scale. Start again. 1/100 scale Gundam crew members, tiny peoples, and belly nothing yet. Either my meat lovers calzone or I'll order something in. Scott Sutherland says bench in the belly and no IDF on the bench. Scott, what are you working on if it's not IDF? Scott loves his Israeli Defence Force. Is it me, right? Because Scott seems to make a different IDF tank every week, every couple of weeks. And is it me, but does every nation on Earth have like 1 or 2 tanks and armoured vehicles, man? Maybe 1 or 2 different things. Like the British Army, they've got maybe 1 or 2 different types of tank and a couple of Land Rover variants. But do the Israelis have like 328 different tanks and 130 different armoured vehicles and like 70 other... Have they got like 1 billion different types of armoured vehicle? It's really weird. Like, you know, massive nations have like a couple of different... I don't mean like literally a couple of... I mean like a couple of different types of tank. Maybe an APC, maybe a couple of tanks. Israel have got like dozens of them falling out of cupboards. It's like... Does everybody just drive around in tanks all day? I've got the sniffles. Let's have a look. TK says empty bench, empty belly, but we'll fire up the barbecue soon. Yes, that's correct. Mordraka says belly, empty, bench, converting Cadian shock troops into Nurgle cultists. That's awesome. Sounds awesome. If you have a look at what's it called now? Dark Tower, Dark Fortress. Somebody tell me in the chat what it's called. The Black Fortress or something like that. I don't know if they do separate sets of the figures, but there are some Chaos Imperial Guard, traitor Imperial Guard in that, and they're already Chaosified. So I don't know if you can buy them separately though, but have a look if you're building sort of Chaos or Nurgle armed forces. You want some more Chaosy style Imperial Guard. Dark Fortress, I can't remember what it's called now. It's the Games Workshop one. It's the standalone board game. Oh, game. Wayne Haywood. Bench. Cleaning and assembling Star Wars Legion speeder bikes. Belly. Choc chip digestive biscuits. And a huge coffee. Good effort. Eon's Cara is working on a fetid bloat. I'll start that again. My words aren't working. I can brain really well. I've got all the best words. I have all the best words. A fetid bloat drone belly. Crisp and chicken Thai curry later. Oh yes. Wait, no, he's working on I added punctuation. He's working on a fetid bloat drone. Belly is crisps and chicken Thai curry later. He's not working on a fetid bloat drone belly. Pascal was at the flea market. Okay. What did you buy from the flea market, Pascal? Tell us what you got. Jamie Brown. Oh, Jamie, I got it wrong. Jamie Brown's not on roast chicken today. He's on roast beef today with all the trimmings for belly, bench, 135th M1A2 Abrams Tusk 2. Jolly good. You aren't allowed to look. You must post, says Chris at Gross Models. Just Django says internet's a bit screwy, so it'll be probably on and off from the stream. Now I'm going to zoom forward, so I'll probably miss quite a bit now because I've got to zoom forward again. Let's have a look. Simon Reynolds says, can't remember the name. The weapon is the Storm Bolter. Okay, I thought it was it's not the Havoc launcher on there though, is it? Because it's not. It's the Chaos version. Can't remember what it's called now. Do. That's Death Guard specific though. The Chaos Rhino kit isn't really Death Guard specific. Okay. Well, it's you just paint it the same colour. I.e. it sucks. Well, it doesn't really matter. Candygram says, belly eating breakfast now. Egg with omelette mushrooms, spinach, peppers and tomato. Bench, A-wing fighter, pin washing the panel lines soon. Skullfish is in. Skullfish. Tyrone Key is in. Hello everyone. Just picked up the Chaos Space Marine kit and was pleased to find it had full colour instructions. Cool. Yeah, a lot of them do now. For the Chaos Rhino, I chose a combi weapon, obviously the missile launcher. I think that's the only option I actually have. One of them is, for the other turret, is basically... Hello, somebody's texting me. I'm still zoomed in, says Dad. Thanks, Dad. Hang on. There you go. This is why it's sometimes handy that people have your mobile number. Yes, I seem to have the option of either the missile launcher, a light, a spotlight, or some kind of grill thing. Blackstone Fortress, that's the one, says Tyrone, that's the one. I don't know if you can buy the figures independently, though, of the actual game. You can on eBay, says Sirens, or people that sell just bits. But they do some chaosified Imperial Guard. They look quite good as well. Pascal says, I bought nothing. I saw a mega Titanic model kit, but then realised I have too much models, and it was Revell. You made the correct decision. You made the correct decision. When it says Revell on the front, walk away. It must be great getting a proper entry to a live stream like a boxer, says Paul at Team Inept. I think he's referring to me when I go Skullfish. I don't know. I think that's a throwback from the Fast Show when they used to have that character called Monkfish. Monkfish. David Butch, that model. Dilemma. I got some pennies to spend. Do I upgrade the man cave with new benches, lights and stuff, or do I get a stash? I would actually, if you're wanting to film, you should always upgrade your workspace with better lighting and other things that make it better to film. Yes, new benches and lights and stuff, or get a stash. Spend if you've suddenly got the windfall, spend it on your hardware. You never know when you're going to have the money to buy new kit and new equipment. Over time, you'll always end up with more kits as to build. And if you've already got a stash, you've got stuff. It's like me, I've got a stash of stuff that can see me through to next year or the next couple of years. So I don't need to buy more kits, even though I do occasionally. If I get money, though, I will spend it on upgrading my workspace. Because you don't know how often you're going to have that money to buy new lights. You want as many lights as possible. A big, nice workbench. Just work on your space. You've got things to build. George says, Bench is trying to build shells for all these new Sigmar dudes and millions of paint. Belly is starving, waiting on my wife to wake up to figure out the breakfast situation. Then Sazabi. Yes. Right, I think we're up to date now. Right, so swig of tea. Swig of tea. And we shall do some buildy. So I don't have a choice. I've got to give him the combi bolter on the front. Ain't got no choice about that one. If I want to have him sticking out with a weapon, he will have the combi bolter. So I'll put the little vehicle out of the way over there for the moment. You go over there. So I need... they're all specially numbered with no numbers at all. Fantastic. However, that's the wrong sprue. So... we have... oh, you haven't got a choice of options. Okay, you've got a couple of options. You can have a flamer with a bolter on the side of it, or a flamer with a bolter that also has a bayonet. That's your entire options here. Okay. Where's me snippies? Aviad Madara's in. Welcome, Aviad. Evening. Says Aviad, so I guess it's evening time in that part of the world. Hello, Aviad. Right, so we want, first of all, a couple of the weapons. Now, they're not numbered, but I'm liking the look of the one with the big fat bayonet. We have a melter of some sort here, heavy flame or a melter of some sort. Now, these have only got little nubs, so I'm actually going to use my God hands to take them off, because they're only little nubs, not big nubs. So we've got a nice juicy melter. Melter. We have a big stubby bolter, or a stubby bolter with a bayonet. I think you know it's going to have to be the one. If you give me a choice between A or bigger A, I'm always going to take the one that's bigger, because why wouldn't you? Choice between a gun or gun with a massive sword on the front. You know where my money's going to go. Jamie Bones says something I'm not going to read. I am. Fox's favourite character from Star Wars is on TV now. No, such a character does not exist. Now we need the Cupola. And the Cupola is this bit. And we need to add... hold on a minute. Hold on there. Now. Interesting. Okay, there's two cupolas here. And it's supposed to have the little gimbally thing upon which the weapons are mounted. I am not seeing the little gimbally thing to which the weapons mount. That's a bit of a shortcoming. In the instructions, it shows, here's the pintle, here's the cupola with the pintle on it, stick the guns on. You don't have a cupola with a pintle. The pintle is the little thing that sticks up to which the weapon attaches. Such a thing does not seem to exist on this cupola. There is no pintle, and I cannot see a separate piece that would be a pintle. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's a bit of a problem. Well, it's not a problem for me, because I'm going to fix it in a minute, but anybody building this, the other two sprues I have, it's hiding at the bottom of the sprue. It's like an old sprue, so nothing's numbered. I can't see the pintle anywhere. No, it's not on the other two sprues, I don't think, because I checked those and I've got rid of them. There's nothing left on them. It is entirely possible I have, maybe it was on one of the other two sprues and I've thrown them away. That's a possibility. Well, that's a bit rum, isn't it? That's a bit rum. However, all is not lost, because if you give me a moment, I'm going to go under the desk. 1 second. Here, this is my bits box. This is why you keep all the bits left over. Now, it's entirely possible, if it was on one of the other sprues, which seems weird that it would be on the sprue separate from any of the weapons, because all the cupolas and the covers, the hatches for the cupola and everything else is on this sprue. It seems a little weird that the pintle would then be on a different sprue. Even for Games Workshop, it seems, because all the other two sprues are just the main armour engine bits. So let's see what we've got. We've got Space Wolves bits, don't want those. We've got tank dudes, that's just tank drivers. You wouldn't think, I've only got 2 tanks, but somehow I've got a bag full of tank commanders. I don't know, I've just picked them up from places. We have Imperial Guard. We have a load of Tempesta Scion stuff. And then we have, here we go. This is what I'm after. This is the good stuff now coming up. Let's put all these back in the bag. Hopefully I've got one. Now I do remember there was some with pintles in here. But I remember taking one of them apart for something and cutting the pintle off. So it's entirely possible. There we go. There is the pintle on the cupola. That's what we're after. A cupola with the pintle on it. Now I'm hoping, because basically I'm counting on the fact that the Rhino and the Chaos Rhino are basically the same kit. So if I try and put this into here, perfect. It was moida. There we go. It fits perfect. There's the camera point, Fox. Let me just right. I need to keep forgetting where the camera is. There we go. Right. Yeah, they are basically the same kit. So there is, you can cross over in the parts. So that is what I should. The instructions don't say that. Oh, look. Wait, no. Aha. I'm just looking now. If I look at this cupola here, there was a pintle on there. It's snapped. You can see the light bit there. At some point, that's been snapped off. So it was included. So if anybody subscribing to this, you haven't got this issue yet, you do get a pintle on that, but it's snapped off on there. It looks like that was maybe broken off in transport before it got to me. Well, not to worry. If anybody's building this and they have the same thing and you've got a piece missing, if you've got a bits bag, doubtless you've got one with a pintle on it. They'll all be the same. Or if you ever have a bit missing off a vehicle or something like that, just go onto eBay. There'll be somebody selling bits. If you go onto eBay, there are people that sell bits for all kinds of things. Whatever you're building, whatever Games Workshop kit, you can guarantee there is somebody selling relevant bits for it. So if I didn't have this, I could have gone on eBay and ordered, somebody will have a box full of spare bits, because you always get spare bits left over. So we have that. There's the pintle cupola. Quanoman says, I'm pretty sure Fox Hookling wants to be a Jedi so he can hang out with Jar Jar. Whoop. Don't tell Fox I said that or he may murderize me. I might murderize you. I might not, but I might do. How will you know? I'll do it when you're least expecting it, like when you're asleep or pooping or, I don't know, asleep. Basically, you can never sleep or poop again, ever, because how do you know? Snowman says, HFC says, I'll start that again. Snowman HFC says, got to go, peeps. Have fun. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Let's have a look. Do you get a foam cannon for that thing? Yes, if you are building anything like this and you find something like that where it's broken off, so you can see that it was on there. It's just snapped off at some point and been lost. So probably fell out of the packaging when I opened it. So not to worry, I've got this spare one, which should hopefully fit. Yes, it will fit perfectly. Like I say, because it's just a standard. Because basically, Chaos you often get whatever the Imperial side has got. So if you've got an Imperial Knight, you're about to get Chaos Knights. If you've got Imperial Armed Vehicles, you're going to have the Chaos versions. And it'll be the same kit. Typically, it's the same kit with greebles to stick on. So there you go. Often they're a little bit more expensive because you have the extra bits. So we have those two weapons. We need the lower part of the Rhino. Rhino! Which is the butt area and legalons. So we'll get that off there. Diddly bomb, diddly bomb. So I was lucky I've got that big collection of tank parts. Spare, basically, which is kind of handy. I will need 2 of the hatch covers, which is this one. Oh, sorry, knocking the camera there. This one here and that one there. Yeah, that's just richtig. Like I say, I'm quite happy to use my god hands on here because they are quite small nubs. They're not big chunky nubs. Chunky nubs! And we'll get the guy off the sprue in a minute. Fox, there is a website called Bitsbox that sells Warhammer bits. Aye. I complained to Hachette about a broken part on the Blight Hauler and they sent me a whole new issue for free. Says David Corden. Yes, I had. I got the 3 Space Marine Inceptors, the guys with the jetpacks that are on the flying stems. And I had like 1 flying stem, or I think 2 flying. You're supposed to get 3 clear flying stems. I got 1 or maybe 2. So I mailed them and said, "Hi, I'm kind of missing one of the clear parts. Can you send me another clear sprue? Just say, can you send me the sprue?" They sent me the whole magazine and the whole issue again. So I've got some extra spare Inceptors, which is kind of cool. Yeah, if you do get a problem with them, just drop them an email. They'll sort you out. They'll sort you out. Right, this is where I start potentially doing Stabberty now, folks. So start making your bets. Gentlemen, place your bets, please. Yes, I've actually said in the past that when I built my Tempestus Scions, who I've tried to paint now twice and failed miserably, so I must strip them all again. I'm not going to make any more Tempestus Scions ever again because the arms I can't be doing with the 2-piece arm. The arm comes in the upper arm and the lower arm, and then the weapon. I can't be doing with that. It's so fiddly and nonsense. I didn't enjoy it. The build was terrible. I hated it. So if I ever want to add some more Tempestus Scions to my army, I hate to say it, but I'm going to go on eBay and buy somebody who's made up, because people will buy the kits and build them and then just not paint them and sell them. So like, pre-assembled but not painted. And I'll just buy them. I'll just buy them pre-assembled from somebody because I do not want to build them again. I'm looking forward to painting them. I've tried twice and made a mess of it but through my own fault, not through any problem with anything else. And I need to strip them all and start again. So we get all the little nubbins off this little bit here. So all those bits I've bought, in most of the bits in that bag, all these bits in my bits bag. Some of them are from my own kits, like the Space Wolves and the Scions and stuff. But all the tank parts, a lot of them are actually just, I went onto eBay and just bought, when I was making the Imperial Skitter, I wanted all bits of stuff to stick on, so I just went online and eBay and bought a few, people selling bag of tank parts, bag of Imperial vehicle bits, and they're just kind of randomised, just random stuff. And it was all jolly good fun. So I have a collection of tank parts now, and endless supply of tank drivers and commanders, which I've used for other things. So I'll just get the little nub off here. I'll come back into the seam lines in a moment. No stability yet, folks, sorry. May not be any stability at all. How can you even know? Simon Reynolds says, to be fair, the Bitsbox website sucks ass. Bits and Kits is much better. Yep, or just eBay. Some sites like that, I can't remember. Somebody tell me if I remember it right, that you can actually go in and buy a bit rather than 300 pieces of something. Get this nub off the melter or flamer. What's the difference? There you go, Warhammer peeps. What's the difference between a melter and a flamer? Is a flamer just a small melter, or a melter just a small flamer? Because I know you get heavy melters. Or is a melter just the equivalent of a flamer? I don't know. Or is a flamer something out of Fallout? I'm getting it confused. Am I getting my Fallout confused? That's the wrong... I've got the wrong tool for the right job. There we go. Am I getting it confused with flamers from Fallout? Is that what I'm doing there? So a flamer does what it says on the tin, says Simon Reynolds. Where's me? I've not got me. Where's me scrapey tool? Melter is anti-armor, flamer is anti-personnel. Okay. Melter is more like a concentrated heat gun beam thing. Cool. You can tell I've not been reading my codex at all. Other than very briefly a long time ago. Now there's a lovely little bit ribbed tubing and a massive seam line right down the middle of it. Thanks, Obama. We can restore that though, no biggie. Do. So I'll just get rid of any big fat seam line going down the middle of this melter / flamer. I don't know which one it is. I like the fact with the flamers and melters they have like the ignition source just underneath the barrel. I really appreciate that little extra design effort there. Now there is a horrendous seam down the middle of this. It's not often you see this, and I don't quite know how they've done it, but they've managed to get slippage on a plastic kit. Now I don't know if you don't know what slippage is, when you have a resin model, and you've got obviously a two-part mold where two parts of the mold come together, and you get left and right half, and it makes a solid thing like that. Might be left and right side. Put them all together, it makes the plastic's injected, and then the mold comes apart and you've got your plastic part. With resin it's the same. You put it in there, the resin's poured in, sometimes it's spun round in a centrifuge to make it all go out nicely. Take the mold apart and you've got your resin piece. The seam line down the middle is where there's maybe a tiny gap and some plastic or resin spooges out. Very, very tiny, but where you get a massive slippage on there, basically it's where the two halves of the mold have moved a little bit like that. And you get a little bit of slippage. Now you can get it on resin kits quite often. It's actually quite rare to see it on a plastic kit of any worth, since like 1955. It's quite rare to see slippage on a plastic kit, but there's quite a big step here on the tank of this flamer, this weapon. And that's a bit shocking, that. However, it's not appeared in anything else on the sprue, which is really weird. So that's a bit pants. It's not just a big seam line or mould line, it's actually a big mould slip. Never seen that before on a plastic kit. And I've built some real dogs. I've built some real old Airfix kits that are just absolute gash. But even then, I've never seen mould slip. That's a first for me, that. Doodle-doo. You actually get a lot of slippage on a lot of the Nurgle kits. The Plague Marine kit is really atrocious, he says. I rephrased that a bit. Really? I wonder why. why certain kits then have slippage on them. Because it's a process of the mould moving, so unless it's a particularly shoddy mould, maybe all those kits were designed on a Friday afternoon, I don't know. I mean, they are all kind of old kits now anyway. A lot of the Plague Marine stuff and the Chaos stuff is kind of old now. It's all the old style armour and Space Marine armour, so that's a bit messy there. Do 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 do. But again, having said that, we are going to make it look scruffy and battered anyway, so we can kind of get away with it. A little bit, maybe. Just a little bit. Can't hide it completely. The Nurgle stuff is 2 years old, Fox. Is it? Wait, the Nurgle stuff. Oh, you mean like from Dark Imperium? Yeah, Dark Imperium and Dark Van. I don't know. What am I thinking of then? I'm thinking of the old Chaos Marines, aren't I? Yeah, I'll shut up now. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. In that case, that's even worse than they've got mould slippage on stuff that's only a few years old. Do-do-do-do-do. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, things that you need to clean up on a... The worst thing is I think it's on the top. Is that on the... I wouldn't mind, but it's actually on the top of the fuel tank, not on the bottom where you might not see it. It's on the top of the fuel tank where you're going to have to see it. Ugh, I don't know. Because it's not going to be hidden at all. It's not. Wow, that's pretty bad. Fox Chaos got lots of new kits in the past couple of years. So I'm thinking of the other three. He says you're thinking of the other three Chaos factions, bar Tzeentch, and that's had a few bits. Yes, I think I'm thinking of the others, aren't I? I'm not thinking of Nurgle. I take that back. Having said that, this is... What's the year on this one? 2002 for this sprue. So yeah, this is an old sprue. And if it's a really old sprue, then yeah, okay, you can kind of see that might be a reason for there being slippage on the mould. If it's a very old mould, the older the mould gets, old mould, the more likely you are to get imperfections. 2002. Do 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 do. Aviad says mold slips for some of the Plague Marines can be really bad for some reason. The first batch I got was perfect, second looked like a China recast, third one perfect again. Yeah, it's like the Imperial Guard stuff. If you get like the Imperial Guard, like the Cadian stuff, the seam lines on those guys are atrocious. But it's just because they're old. But you look at some of the figures now. I mean, the sculpts on them are a bit rough and ready as well. But that's, again, they are old. But the seam lines on some of the Cadian troops, terrible. They really need an update. If anything needs an update toward the same kind of level as requirement as, say, Orcs, it's going to be Imperial Guard, Cadian type troops. Because they're kind of old now. It'd be nice if they released something that wasn't just Cadians as well. That'd be nice. Release some other types of Imperial dudes. Boom, 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 boom. That's about as good as I'm going to do on that, I think. Now I'm not going to do... Oh god, there's a massive mold slip on the top as well, on the bottom. Ugh! I can't actually get to this very easily though. That's pretty bad. What was I going to say? Yeah, it'd be nice if they did some non-Cadian type Imperial Guard stuff. I understand they want to do the rank and file Imperial Guard, just so people who want to build Imperial Guard can just build them up. That makes sense. But it'd be nice if they did some other, either brought back or did some new plastic Imperial Guard stuff. That would be nice. Aviad says, I wonder if it has to do with the amount of those they were pumping out after Dark Imperium. It's possibly. I mean, maybe. I know that, you know, the majority of this stuff is done in-house in Nottingham, but I mean, the difference is with Conquest, of course, is Conquest isn't done in Nottingham. They're not making these sprues in Nottingham. These aren't proper Games Workshop made in Nottingham sprues. These are done in China under license. So that's why the plastic in these things is a bit different to your standard GW. Looks the same, it's just a weird different plastic. So, not being GW, of course we can't expect the quality to be exactly the same. So maybe there's other stuff out there that's, you know, not under license, but maybe GW have farmed some of their work out to other places like China that we don't know about. And that's where you get the really shonky stuff. Who can say? Who can say? Simon Reynolds says, I've got one of those Christmas boxes, the Battalion job. I can't remember the exact set name. I've cracked it open yet, but I'm hoping it's not terrible. I had to resculpt those Plague Marines last year. It was a pain in the arse. Yeah. I'm rewording something slightly. Yeah, the Battalion ones. Is that one of the old ones where you got like 3 Lehman Russes and a load of Imperial Guard? Or is that the new Armageddon thing? Apocalypse, even. Wow, I've taken all this time just to do one damn weapon. Wow. I can't actually get under here to sand. There's a big massive seam line underneath the barrel, but above this tubing, and I can't get in there to do anything with it really properly. So it's going to be underneath anyway. You're not really going to notice it. I think I'll get away with it. I think just about. No, it's like the Apocalypse box they released this week, but they released them around Christmas as well. Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, you can see on the barrel. You might not see it there, but you can see on the barrel it's not quite round. There's some slippage there. Basically, we've had slippage, lads. Make the best of a bad job. There you go. Apologies if my head keeps getting in shot. No, I'm not going to drill out the end of the melter / flamer because it's just a bit too small. I'll probably screw it up. It's like a sticky up barrel, and I probably would screw that up. Let's be blatantly honest here. I probably would make an arse of that. Wow, all that time I've done one weapon. Holy cow. What's the slippage like on this? Not bad on this actually. It's alright, there isn't any. Yay! Yeah, the Plague Marines, though, it's down to design. They all have the loincloths, etc., and the legs. Loincloths are moulded to one piece, so it's more mould fidelity in that case, not so much slippage. Yeah, true. I do know that GW over the last couple of years invested a lot, and if I remember rightly, they bought the building next door and expanded their factory floor space. There's probably a lot more new machinery as well. There's probably a lot more new moulding equipment that wasn't there before. That's probably also helping. So maybe it's just a case of some stuff's made on old machines and some stuff's made on new machines, and that's where you get your difference. That would make sense. I never noticed before, but you can't see it here, but I'll see if I can zoom in for you. You know what's going to happen when I zoom in though, I'll forget completely. I like the way the ammo feed, don't know if you can see it, where the ammo goes in. It's actually a demon face. That's quite cool, the bit there, just above my thumb. It's like a demon face who's going om nom 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 as the rounds go in. I like that. Zoom out. There we go. Not so bad on this one. Not such egregious mouldy lines. So I shall go around with the special tool. My David Butch, that model, says they tried to fast me into buying £100 Apocalypse detachment the other day. That's one thing. I popped into my local store to get those contrast paints a couple of days ago. or even yesterday even. And I was talking to manager Chris, and I suddenly realised, you know, I've never had the plan of doing anything major, but even though I've hardly got any of it built or painted, I've got most of it unbuilt, it's not even built or painted yet, but all the stuff I've got to build for my army, the unending forces of the Holy Contrivance, I'm already going to be over 2,500 points, I think. I've not worked it out, but I'm sure I'm going to be already over 2,000 points. So basically, I've already got enough models to start Apocalypse, at least have a battalion. And I was like, oh dear God, really? So I was saying to Chris, I may as well just like come in and learn how to play Armageddon, Apocalypse first. He's like, no, you still learn how to play the proper game. Because I still haven't played the game yet. But I discovered to my horror that once I've got everything built and painted, I'll probably have enough to actually play Apocalypse. And that would be fun. But I have to tell you, even if you're not planning on, you know, playing Apocalypse or anything like that, even if you don't play the game, I would strongly recommend the Apocalypse Imperial Knight set. Because you get an Imperial Knight, and I can't remember which one it is. It's one of the new ones, the big heavy ones. You get one of them big ass Imperial Knights, and you get 2 armigers. Now the armigers, the little mini knights, that kit with 2 armigers is about 40 quid. Okay, so you've got 2 armigers, which if you bought separately would be 40 quid. And you've got that big ass Imperial Knight, of which one it is I forget. I think that's about 95 quid. Let's say 85 quid just to be safe. It probably is about 95 quid. So you've already got about 130 quid there. And yet they're asking 100 quid for it. You're basically getting the 2 armigers free. So in the same way when you bought the Imperial Knights Renegade, you got 2 Imperial Knights and a big chunk of expensive scenery for the cost, just over the cost of 1 Imperial Knight. This way you're getting an Imperial Knight and 2 armigers for just over the cost of the Imperial Knight. So if you're looking at getting some Imperial Knights, if you're looking at picking up an Imperial Knight at the moment, don't get, if that's the one you want, don't get that one. Don't go and buy the Knight. Get that set instead, because you'll get basically almost pretty much 2 free armigers. So why would you not do that? Why would you not do that? Go for it. They do give you some amazing deals sometimes, Games Workshop. They do come out with some goods. Like the Renegade, 2 knights and big chunks of scenery, 100 quid, 120 quid. Whereas it should be about should have been 180 quid for 2 knights. So yeah, go and check it out. In other news, Daniel House says the Night pack is also the lowest saving any of the packs. All right. So check out the other packs as well, if the other ones give you even more savings. I haven't really looked at the other ones. I don't know the value and cost of other ones though, so it was just that Night one stood out because there's only 3 things in the pack and you can kind of work out what they're worth. So yeah, in that case, if you're looking at just building these for fun, or even just having a small army, you're not even interested in Armageddon, Apocalypse, God, I keep calling Armageddon, go and check out the Apocalypse sets then anyway, if they're all giving you good savings like that. Nobody minds saving money. Hey Dad, you need to buy the one that's got like 3 Bane Blades in it. Yeah, no, maybe not. There is one that comes with 3 Bane Blades, like 200 and something quid, which is still a saving because, you know, Bane Blades like 85 quid. So I had occasion there when I was in the store. I had occasion to handle and ogle one of the new Bane Blade kits. You know how the Bane Blade's been re-released in a new spanky box. I had a look at it. He had one on the shelf. So I kind of said, oh, Chris, let me have a look at that box. And then when I put it down, I'm like, I'm now going to walk away. Goodbye. Left the shop. At first, when they put that picture up of the new box for the Bane Blade, and it looked like that long and that thick, and I'm like, what kind of dumb nonsense is that? It's not going to be that. It's not like it looked like it was bigger than a perfect grade box. It was like, it's not that wide. It is that wide. You look at the box, it's like that big. It's off camera. It's like that big, but it's also the same width. It's like a cube almost. Like, holy cow, it's big. So yeah, if you thought that photo, the sort of picture of the box looked a bit silly, it is actually that size. I was amazed. I will get myself a Bane blade at some point. Not yet. Got other things to spend my money on right now at the moment. In other news, I did go to the opticians last week, and I did go through the eye test, and I did go through the humiliating glaucoma test where you get the little puff of air blown into your eye, and you have to look at the photograph of the. If you're in the UK and you go for an eye test, I don't know if it's different for different places, but the one I go to, you look at a photograph of a road that goes off into the distance, and then there's a balloon at the end, like a hot air balloon at the end of it, and you look at that, and they blow puffs of air into your eye, and I cannot help it. Every time that bit of air blows into my eye, I jump and scream like a schoolgirl. I can't help it. And I always make the girls at the opticians laugh, because I'm just like, I said, oh, that bloody balloon, oh, it's my nemesis, that balloon. And they laugh. And they say, what's wrong with it? And I'll be like, I can't walk out of here with my head held high after having the glaucoma test, because it's just not awesome. I look like a spoon. I do a little girly squeal and I jump in my chair, and it's not manly at all. So yeah, so I don't like that bit of the test. So I had my eye test, and they did lots of things on the computer. And in the old days, at an eye test, you'd have a pair of funky glasses, and they'd put lenses in, take the lenses out, and they'd swap them around for you on your face. Or they'd have a thing they'd put in front of you, and they'd take things out and they'd move them around. No, this thing got now. They said, right, sit back, and this robot arm comes down with a box about 4 foot square and goes in my face, and it's all automated, it's all futuristic. I'm like, wow, you've got technology and everything. It was amazing. Anyway, so I went for my eye test, and they printed a report that basically said old. Yeah, so I need new glasses. So I have ordered new glasses. Going to be a couple of weeks. And I don't know if you'll like them or not. I have no idea. It doesn't actually care, because it doesn't matter. But you might like them, you might not. I've kind of gone for, when I got the ones I've got now, I kind of wanted the sort of subtle glasses, and I kind of ended up accidentally going for that bloke from Raiders of the Lost Ark sort of round ones. Melty face dude, Ronnie Lacey style. With these new ones, when you see them, I've kind of gone for 1970s BBC factual program about ancient Rome. It's probably some bloke in a suit telling you about the ancient Romans. Kind of 1970s BBC history program. But like Alistair Clark's Letters from America, or something like that, or, that other guy that did the history of civilization. The program was actually called Civilization, but I can't remember who presented it. Something like that. So yeah, I've gone for that kind of 1970s BBC documentary style glasses. You'll know what when you see them. They'll probably look terrible, because I don't normally suit that kind of glasses frame, but we'll see. So I'm just drilling out the barrel now. If you've watched any of my things, you'll know when I drill out the barrel, I invariably never get it quite in the middle. So handy tip, drill out the hole as best in the middle as you can, and then if it's ever so slightly off, just carve around the side that's off till it just about matches the rest of the barrel, so it looks about right. And then when you've done that, you've made the hole about the right size. You obviously can't get in there and sand, but you can get that bit of fuzz out. Come out. You obviously can't get in there and sand, so what you can do is get your Tamiya extra thin. Dad's going to swear at me because I've got it out of the dad holder. Get some Tamiya extra thin, and with a very tiny amount, just very gently and very carefully go over the barrel and work it around the inside of the barrel that you've just drilled out. And that will just smooth off any little fuzzy bits of plastic that are left, and you should be left with a nice drilled out barrel. Now in reality, of course, you've got the barrel here like that, and it might be like kind of that shape, and it might not be a perfect tube, but for all intents and purposes, when you look at it straight on or from the side, it looks like it's a cylinder, a hollow cylinder. So if you're ever drilling out barrels, it is quite tricky. If you get it wrong and your hole isn't quite in the centre, don't panic, just sculpt out the breast. Well, let me get a pen and I'll show you. I shall demonstrate. Let me get a piece of paper. knocking things everywhere. Yes, if you drill out a barrel, you've got a barrel like that. Let's say, can you see that? Yes. So you've got a barrel there like that, and you drill it out, and your hole is kind of here, and not in the centre. You've got some excess here. So what you need to do is basically just scrape that bit out. There's your barrel. There's the gun. You just take out the... So if you see it from the front, it'd be like that. Let's do that a bit neater. I have everything. Yeah, so you've got a barrel there like that. You've drilled a hole out here. Just take the rest, take your knife and sculpt out the rest of it just to fit. And once you've smoothed it off with some glue, it looks fine. So there you go. Don't worry about getting it perfect every single time, because you won't. I think in my entire time I've done it like twice, that I've been able to drill out a barrel and get it spot on straight away. Right, so I'll put this away. A lot of people will do things like they'll make a little hole in a little mark in the centre of the gun barrel with an awl or a pin or something first, just to make a pilot hole. Invariably though, I don't bother, because I've found at this size, trying to mark a pilot hole in the centre is just as difficult as actually just drilling the hole in the centre. So you're just as likely to get the pilot mark off centre as well. So I wouldn't worry about it, basically. Right, let's have a look at the chat. What's chat doing? Paul Di Tommaso is in. Hello people, how are things today? Hey Paul, how's the factory? Who wants to explain to Fox that the squeals aren't what stops making him manly, says Paul. When I get the little puffs of air in my eye. Yeah, shut up. Fox, Apocalypse has its own point system, but all the data sheets for units are free online, says Tyrone Key. Question for the masses, says Beyond Hope. Welcome, Beyond Hope. Fox, did Warhammer create a Daka Daka idea, or was it present in modern language previously? Watching a stream of Tegmouth Airshow and commentator, but it got, blurted it out as a World War II hurricane came for its display. I don't know. I mean, it's always been an onomatopoeia word for like machine gun, Daka 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 Daka, like that. But as an actual word, Daka Daka, I think that's probably relates to Warhammer fandom. It probably was invented by, Warhammer players, because it's supposed to be an orc terminology. It relates to orcs. More Daka is more powerful weapons that can do more damage. So I think the actual word itself is a Warhammer thing. Maybe not an official one. It's a fan thing. Maybe. But yeah, but just going Daka Daka Daka. Kids have always made that noise, I think, as an onomatopoeia. I imagine you're not wrong, Fox. The kit you buy will be better depending on the batch it was made in and which machine that particular batch was moulded on, says Si. Yeah, that was me earlier on saying about how some of the older ones perhaps are just made on the older machines. Some of the newer stuff might be made on the newer machines in the new part of the factory. And you will get a difference. But yes, to hear a commentator refer to Daka Daka in the World War II craft is awesome. Daniel House says he grabbed the Orc Apocalypse pack for lots of cans and dreads. Yeah, if you're looking at getting some Warhammer stuff and you just like to make and paint them just for fun, or you just want to get some stuff for your own existing armies, or just to play normal Warhammer and not 40k and not Apocalypse, have a look at the Apocalypse sets. They do seem to be, in a lot of cases, massively cheap. The Tau box, for example, the Tau box set saved about 90 quid. Simon Reynolds says, this is why I bought 5 of the Imperial Knight set and one everything else to flip them, just because the Knights are so easy to flip. Yeah, so Simon Reynolds, basically he's buying them to sell them on, which is a very good idea. Damn you, sir. I'll buy one of those Knight sets from you for £10. How's that for a flip? Yeah, no, I won't really. I've got my Knights Renegade set I've got to make yet. I like the idea of Apocalypse though, that you can literally have you can finally play Warhammer 40k games where you're just fielding like 10 or 20 knights or something crazy and insane like that, but it's not taking you a week to play a game. I was watching Tabletop Minions and he was talking about how sometimes they'd play games of the scale of Apocalypse, but with just regular 40k rules, and it might be that by the end of the day they'd had 2 turns each, and they had, that wasn't even the end of the game. So it's just a way to streamline playing with very large army. I think it's 2,000 points plus or 2,500 upwards. So if you've got more than 2,500 points, you can potentially play Apocalypse. And it does sound like super good fun. Again, I haven't actually played the game yet. I still need to get some stuff built and painted up so I can go into my local store and get Chris to teach me how to play. Because I do know at least one person from the Boom Hut that plays in my local store. Gray Hall. I don't think Gray watches these streams, but Gray plays in my local store. So there's one person that I know. But the difficulty for me is I would love to make a habit of playing the game. I'd love to have a table set up at home. I just don't know anyone that plays. I'll have to see if I can maybe get a little sort of simple game going with my friend and see if I can get some of my friends locked into it. Once they're in, they're in. Right, catch up with the chat. David Butch, that model, says Fox's eye test report was F, with please try harder in the margin. Yes, C miss. No, basically my eye test report was year old. I don't know what. I'll tell you what my eye test report was. Apparently, my right eye has a SF of plus 2.75, a SIL of 0.75 minus, an axis of 145, also a SFR of 4.5, a SIL of 0.75 minus, an axis of 145. That's distance and near. Okay, 2.75 distance and 4.5 in the other eye, which explains why when we go somewhere, like we'll go to, anywhere, like when you walk into a store and they've got like a rack of cheap glasses for like £5 each, and they're just either like 2, 2.5, 3 or 3.5, and that's the prescription, and they're just like buy them for a £5 and they're quick simple glasses. Mama Fox always buys those because she just tends to lose glasses a lot, so she don't want to spend a fortune on nice expensive glasses that she's going to lose, which is fine. So she just buys these off the rack ones, and they seem to work for her, but they never have for me. And now I know why. It's because they're always like 2, 2.5 or 3, and I'm 2.75. So of course none of them bloody work for me. My eyes just have to be different, don't they? Oh, I don't know. Get a pair of monocles, says Aviad. 2 Ronnie style. Skullfish says 2 Ronnie style. A little bit. It's a mixture of that kind of 2 Ronnie style and the kind of early 70s, late 60s black frames that are clear at the bottom but black at the top. Kind of, but not quite. They're a little bit of tortoiseshell. They're like black frames with a little bit of tortoiseshell in there as well, I think. I've actually forgotten what they look like now anyway. And when I get them, I'll probably hate them. So I've got 2 pairs. I've got that pair for just everyday use. For, everyday, they're varifocals for, walking around, using my computer and stuff. And I got a second pair for close-up work. They're reading glasses for working at the bench, for working on my models, doing my close-up work. Because at the moment, right now, I have 2 pairs of glasses. I have these are my varifocals that you'll see me wear of a normal on the telly when I'm doing my telly stuff. And then I have these that I'm wearing now, which are my reading glasses for when I'm working at the bench. And it's a pain in the bum, really, because if I want to now look over to my computer and look at things, I have to swap glasses. It's like, oh. But I can't use regular glasses when I'm at the bench because I'm spending hours staring at tiny things. And I've got my magnifying helmet on, so I can't spend hours staring at tiny things through my normal glasses because it'll kill my eyes. So that's why I got reading glasses, just to make that a little bit easier. Fox won't have played that Tyrone. Fox Apocalypse rules are similar to the old Warhammer Epic game. I've never played any game of Warhammer ever. Literally ever. I started doing Warhammer models just for the fun of doing the models because they look brilliant. I had no intention of actually playing the game at all when I first started doing these. It was literally like, I like these models, I'll make more of them. But, you know, just by osmosis, when you're watching, say, Duncan, you know, you're watching Warhammer TV and you're watching their videos, how to use... Because, you know, like everybody else, I hadn't done brush painting for a long time. And when I tried to do brush painting with Tamiya paints, which were terrible, I'd been terrible at it. So I'd never done it. So I got Citadel paints. I thought, I'll learn how to paint. I'll try out this brush painting. Watched a few videos. So of course you watch things like Warhammer TV to learn how to use or how a way to use the paints. I thought, you know, I might as well watch the actual manufacturer's videos to see how they think it should be used. Understanding, of course, that that's not the only way you can use them. But it's a good start. It's a good basis. So I watched a load of Duncan doing his painting videos. And I was like, okay, now I understand the paints, the base layer and highlights and stuff. Now the paints make sense. And I started painting them and I was having a great time. But of course, by the fact you've been exposed to, say, Warhammer TV, and you're watching the videos, you then find yourself watching, they put up a few of the live stream painting with videos, which are good fun. So I went onto Twitch to watch some of them, and then you see them playing games, and it's like, actually, you know, I could quite get into this. And now I'm doing the Warhammer Conquest, and I'm getting all these game boards and lots of beautiful dice that I want to play with. Oh, the dice are brilliant. Oh, they're like jelly cubes. Oh, it's just, it just makes me want to play the game now. Doodle-did. When I had my first eye test, the optician said, "Welcome to the Over the Hill Club," says Dad. Simon Reynolds says he can't see without his glasses. He can see about a foot in front of him. Apocalypse is just 40k but bigger and a few additional rules, i.e. Apocalypse equals 40k DLC. Yeah, I heard tell it's just like 40k but with some of the bits taken out to streamline the whole process. Fox Warhammer Epic is 6mm 40k. I know about what Epic was. It was the one where you get... Yeah, it was designed with little tiny... Yeah, I know. I've read about Epic. But it doesn't exist anymore, does it? Cy Reynolds says, "I get the sense you're a player, Tyrone. I used to be before and a bit after working at GW." And what am I looking on there for? We shall get the other bits for the dude. I might as well get the other bits for the dude out while I'm here. We have a Bonce, the body, 2 Pauldroniums, and the triggers for the weaponage. So we have, I'll put them, where's my receptacle? I shall put them in there like that, you see. There we go, lovely. It's almost time for sticker giveaways and stuff. I'm not going to have done much today. I'm going to have cut out some stuff off the sprue and talked. That's a bit rubbish, lad. That needs to be there. So I'm going to cut that off there and trim that back. We have the torso for the Doodalon. Trousseau. What's that? That's more missiles. Cut this bit off there like that, we'll see. Oops, can't get in there. We shall... I've got a choice of heads. We can have a Space Marine with a helmet, or we can have a Space Marine without a helmet but a face mask. I think we'll go for the easy option and take the helmet, because not painting flesh. We need the triggers for the weapons. Diddly bomb, diddly bomb, diddly bomb. And I think that is all the bits for the Doodalon. Yes, excellent. Okay, that's him there. Now there was something I was... Oh, here's one I was going to ask you. I'm going to have to zoom this in. But remember I was saying that one of the options for the other cupola or the other hatch cover was a kind of demon face that I assume is some sort of vox casting system. I'm going to zoom in because look at this face here. Where is it? Where's the camera? Look at that face there. That's what I think is like maybe a vox casting system or something. However, isn't there a video game with a logo just like that? Some sort of dungeon master or dungeon keeper or something. There's a video game series that has that kind of face. Maybe a bit more triangular. I wonder if that's a bit of a copyright rip-off, because it's very similar. Dungeon keeper or something like that. Take the cabling off the side. I'm assuming that's a Vox of some sort to shout out propaganda. I don't know, but yeah, I'm sure there's like Dungeon Keeper or something that has almost that kind of effect. Just thought I'd point that out. It's interesting. It was in my mind. You know how random my mind works. Yeah, Bullfrog Dungeon Master, I think. That could be the one. You're thinking of Dungeon Keeper, says Team Adept. That's the one. Yes, that sounds... And, I'm sure that's something from the Emperor's Children Fox, some kind of sonic weapon. Yes, it looks like something that maybe pumps out some kind of shouty noise. Maybe it's a Noise Marines. So we're just going to quickly trim these. Now, there's no actual mould lines on these body parts, which is nice. Which was nice. Trim this bit off. I think it's Dungeon Keeper. I remember it because it came out on mobile a few years ago and the big outcry because it was a real proper, really nasty, free to, pay to whatever. It's all free to get it, but you end up paying for gems, that kind of rubbish. Can't be doing with that kind of game. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. Free to play, but everything's on timers that make it almost unplayable. Really can't be doing with that. It's absolute nonsense. That's a trend that needs to be left behind with video games. Especially when you start to see it on non-mobile games. It's like, oh, really? Blame it on companies like Tencent and stuff doing those kind of games. Your Clash of Clans and that kind of stuff. Like the Elder Scrolls Blades that came out, and everybody was like, "This is ridiculous. It costs, you have to spend money just to do basic things in the game." It did seem a little crap, to be honest. But yeah, I can't be doing that. In other news, video game news, here we go. Here's some good news. Elite Dangerous in September time, I think, roughly in September time. They're going to revamp the currency system, the shop system. In the past, previously, if you wanted to buy cosmetic items like skins for your ship, or colours for laser colours or engine exhaust colours or anything like that, decals and stuff for your ships, you had to go into the Frontier store and pay hard cash money. And we've all done it. Let's just admit, we've all bought something for our ships. Basically, little bits and bobs, and it's fine. You spend a few quid, but there are people that spend a fortune, and it's been all right. It's not. It's one of those things. It was all cosmetic stuff only, so it's not the end of the world. You can buy outfits for your commander and things like that. They're going to be changing it to incorporate an in-game earned currency. So basically, what it is until now, you've had to physically pay them money to buy any cosmetic items for your ship. You don't have to, because you can just tool around in whatever ship you're given and whatever colour scheme it comes with. But you had to physically go into the store to pay money. It's changing a bit now, so that from September you'll actually earn some sort of in-game currency as well, so that you can, to buy cosmetic stuff, and it'll just be cosmetic stuff, you can either just tool around in the game and you'll gradually accrue this currency anyway, or if you want to, you can go and spend actual hard money in the store. It's up to you. And that's not bad. I like that. That's not so bad. It's not as insidious as just saying, okay, it'll take you 2 hours to build this defence for your castle, or you can do it instantly for £2. How about no? How about no? How about just not at all? See, I have no problem with games selling cosmetic stuff. It's absolutely fine. You want to do that? That's fine. There'll always be somebody that wants to spend that money. I have no problem with that. But ooh, horrible seam lines. But when it's gameplay affecting things, especially timers, oh, I hate that. If I'm playing a game and it says this will take, you can speed this up by buying real life, deleted. I've deleted it. It's already gone. It's already gone. Because at the end of the day, I want to play a game to have fun. If a company's doing that, then they're just designing the game to make money. They're not designing the game to be fun. Don't care. Not that I play mobile games anyway. Let's just be blatantly honest here. Not my kind of thing. Evil seam line on this dude. Ooh. Not enjoying the seam lines on this figure. Can't even use my mould line tool. Doodly doodly doo. Same faction as that Noise Marine they released earlier this year. That's what I wondered, if it was Noise Marines. Noise Marines equals Emperor's Children. I don't know these things, you see. I have no idea. Free to play, but with microtransactions is sometimes called a freemium game, says Django. It's just Django. It is, yes. Getting fleet carriers in December, says James Purcell. Yes, we are as well. We're getting fleet carriers. To that end, I did set up whatchamacallit in Elite Dangerous for Team Inept. It's called Adeptus Ineptus, I think. Adeptus is like a Team Inept thing. If one of the guys, if Chris or Paul can find out and post something in the chat, that'd be great. Adeptus Ineptum, they're called. So what do you call it? A wing. So, you know, anybody can join. We've got a couple of guys. I think Quano Man's in there with us. I don't get a chance to play it very often now. And it doesn't really mean anything at all. I think it does mean, though, that eventually, if you're in a wing with other people, like a permanent wing, not just like 4 people playing at the same time, a permanent wing, I think you'll have access to their fleet carriers. So, if we, depending on what you need to do it, we will have to, of course, make a fleet carrier for the Team Inept. Aviad Manar says, question for the crowd. Got some of those buffable metal colours. Was planning on using it on the RG SAS frame if it ever arrives. Do you thin them at all, wet coat or thin dusting? They are lacquer paints. I've got some in the cupboard over there, but I just can't get to it. They are lacquer paints. Just apply them as normal. You can airbrush them on. I'd recommend airbrushing them because they're very, very thin, watery. Just airbrush them. You don't need to do a massively thick coat. Just go easy. Just airbrush them the same way you would say the Vallejo metal colours or anything like that. Nice thin coat. It'll look dusty when you put it on, but then you just buff it off and it goes into your nice metallic. Pressure you probably want down to about 12 psi, if not a little bit lower, because again they're lacquers. So they're very, very thin. It's a bit like spraying enamels. You don't need to go heavy with them. It doesn't actually make any difference whether the coat is heavy or thin, other than they're not cheap. Yeah, get them on there. Lacquers dry quite quickly, so give them, I can't remember the time, like something like 5 or 10 minutes, maybe a bit longer, and then just go ahead and buff them off. Being lacquers, of course, they're fairly durable, but they're not impervious, so don't go crazy. Seam lines everywhere, making this a hell of a thing to do. Quanaman says, fleet carrier? Who boy me once. I think you're already in our wing though, aren't you, Quanaman? I think you're one of the 2 people that actually joined our wing. Yes, if you play Elite Dangerous on Xbox. It is Xbox only, unfortunately. It's Adeptus Ineptum. Sounds so much like Battle Pirates from Kickstarter. Everything is microtransactions. The cheap way takes ages. Yeah, it's that kind of game where you can play it without spending money, but it's going to take you a lifetime. Or you can spend money to speed things up. Anything like, you know, Clash of Clans or the mobile Jurassic. I mean, mobile is quite common on there anyway. But I don't really care about mobile games, because mobile games aren't games to me. I don't really care about mobile games. Yeah, but I don't mind having microtransactions. I don't mind having cosmetic microtransactions that are completely optional. It's fine in a game, in a proper game, not mobile. We're not talking mobile rubbish. Let's talk about proper games. I don't have any problem with, you know, cosmetic microtransactions. That's fine. It's not a problem. I don't care. You don't have to buy them. You want to give your guy pink hair? Fine. Spend some money. That's fine. It's up to you. I say I've spent some money on Elite. But it's nice to have the option to not spend money and get those through in-game anyway. However, it's when it's gameplay affecting. And I don't mean like a special weapon that you have to pay cash for and then you can beat everybody else in multiplayer. I don't mean like that. I mean, I disagree with that anyway. You should never have... I don't agree with games that sell better weapons and things like that. I mean, like I said, things that if you don't spend money, it'll take you forever. Like that Harry Potter mobile game that came out and he gets trapped by something, he's been strangled. And you can either pay money to get him released, or you have to sit there for 8 hours while he releases himself. It's like, really? Timed events? Nonsense. Nonsense. James Purcell says, Trident Fleet would love to be allies with you all. There's only 4 of us in the wing. I don't even know how it works. But yeah, if we can ally with other fleets, absolutely. I think it's basically me, Paul, Chris, Quano Man. I think one other person, but I can't remember who. Because you can't really do anything with it, we'd never look at it. Let's be honest. I think the only benefit might be that you can all share a fleet carrier. But seeing as we're all at different ends of the Milky Way, I don't really think that's going to be much of an advantage. Got to go now, says Jamie. Food is ready. Hopefully I shall be back later, or I will be in Chris's stream. Yep, we'll see you later, Jamie. If not later on, we'll see you on Chris's stream this evening. What time are we on? Coming up to 20 to 5. We'll do some stickery giveaways. I'll just get all these bits cleaned up and de-seamed. And then we'll do some stickery giveaways. Been quite intensive cleanup on these. I mean, you might have noticed by now that I tend to get a bit anal about cleaning off all the mold lines and stuff. Probably more so than a lot of people. For something like this. I probably do a lot more than most people would think is normal. Like, you know, look at the time it took me to get the Cesabe all sorted out. So yeah, I do go a bit crazy. We'll just get this body parts all de-seamed. Then we'll do some sticky giveaways. There are 64 members so far. So are you on Xbox or PC, James, or PlayStation? Because we're all on Xbox, and I don't think you can do anything cross-platform with fleets and wings and stuff. I don't think it's cross-platform at all. Now, Chris did restart his... Chris is on Xbox, but also started playing on PC as well, because he's got the VR. But, of course, that's irrelevant to me and Paul, because we don't do the PC stuff. So that's his own little side project. We can't join him on that. The Cadian's now ready for the blessings of Grandfather Nurgle, says Mordracker. Yes. Make sure to put some pictures in the boom hut, Mordracker. By the way, if one of the mods can oblige and post a link to the boom hut in there, in case any of you are new to the stream or don't know what it is, I do have a group on Facebook called the Model Makers Boom Hut. We're getting towards 4,000 members now. It's, I think, one of the friendliest and safest and nicest model making groups on the intertubes. There's no bitching, there's no snark, there's no rattiness, there's no rivet counting. We do not allow it. Absolutely, we do not allow it. We intend it to be a place where you can post up your work, get encouragement, get advice as to how to improve your skills, how to better yourself, make friends and have fun, and there's no snark. There's no one there that will say something that puts you off. We don't allow that. And if anybody does that, we kick them out anyway. So if you're not already in the Boom Hut, go and check it out. Go and become a member. It doesn't cost you a penny. Click on the join now, and usually one of us has approved you in within 24 hours. We kind of let everybody in and then we let you prove yourself. Just make sure to read through the rules when you join the group. No bitch, no snark, no selling, no buying. What else? My neighbour's just turned his very loud lawnmower on. So I hope you can't hear that. Here's a question for you. Why is it 21st century? Mankind has been around for 1 billion, trillion, billion years. Right? We're dead smart, we're right clever, and yet lawnmowers are still the noisiest things in the world, and they are based on like 19th century technology. Why is that? Why is it that lawnmowers now aren't quiet and efficient? There's still these big... I don't understand that. Don't get it. We're just rubbish, aren't we, really? Right. That's all the bits cut off for the cupola and the gun and the dude. So, before we crack on with those, we shall do some stickery giveaways. Yay! So this week, we're going to do something different. I have a Festa 67's Workshop from Colin's channel, Festa 67's Workshop. Colin's not with us in chat, I don't think. If you are and you're just lurking, hi Colin. We have a sticker from Dave's channel, Butcher That Model. But what I'm doing with Dave's, because only little stickers, I'm going to give away in batches of 2. So if you get that, you get 2 of them. And we've got one from Dad's channel, Scaly Models. There you go. If you do have your own channel, if you've got your own YouTube channel, it doesn't have to be about model making, but anything, as long as it's not anything offensive. If you've got your own stickers and stuff, feel free to send me some. I'll give them away on the stream. I don't care. I'm quite happy to promote other people's stuff. It doesn't bother me. I'm not well, I am mercenary, but I'm anthropologically, philanthropically mercenary. I mean, in it for my own interests, but I'll help you guys out as well. So yeah, Colin's channel, Dad's channel, Dave's channel. Quick look at chat. People only pay little as possible for lawnmowers, says Zadster. Hi, Zadster. What about Flymo? Weren't they the future, says Chris. We only said it in the comments, so it wasn't serious much. What? Oh yes, one other thing, very, very quickly. Simon Reynolds mentions it. If you're in the boom hut, I forgot to mention, I set up a mentoring program. All it is basically, if you go into the boom hut, on the left-hand menu, there's an option for mentoring. You can set yourself up as a mentor or a mentee. If you think you've got skills that you want to share, you can set yourself as a mentor and say, I can teach you this, that, and the other. If you want to learn how to do something, you can look at who's available. Or you can put down, I want to learn stuff. And somebody might mentor you. I don't really know how it works, because as the admin, I've got no access to it. It's really rubbish. They say you can do mentoring, but as an admin, I can't access it. So, as far as I know, it's just a case of you go on there, and it's a place for you two to get together and figure out how you're going to teach each other, and left to your own devices. So there, go and have a look at it, the mentoring thing. Right, so 3 stickers. Now, before we do anything, of course, by this point of the evening or the afternoon or the morning, wherever you are in the world, there is always a lag between the video, what you're looking at with your eyes, and the typing on the chat channel. So, before we do anything, I need you to hit the refresh button on your browser and drag the slider across to the right to make sure you're fully up to date as possible. So, refresh and drag, refresh and drag. I'll give you a minute to do that while I also open my email. I have my pen of words. I shall write some words on the back of the stickerages. I shall make sure my email isn't exposed to the public peoples. On this one, I shall write but. On this one, I shall write but. On this one, I shall write also Batman. This Sharpie is running out. Oh dear. Right, so here's the basic idea. If you've won a sticker before, you can win another sticker again. Now, remember, of course, I do have in a bag somewhere here, a big collection of things I need to post out to people. People that have won badges. Oh, that's another thing. Somebody last week won one of the badges that I gave away. I got a mail from I think. I got a mail from George. There's a 3rd person won a badge last week. And you haven't mailed me with your name and address to say you won a badge. So if you're watching this and you won one of the badges last week, I kind of know who you are, but I can't remember what your YouTube sign-in is, but I kind of know what it was. Mail me and let me know. And remind me what your channel ID is. Because somebody won a badge last week and they haven't claimed it yet. So I've got a load of stickers I need to send out. It just takes me a very long time to get around to going to the post office. So if you're waiting for a sticker and you're waiting for months, yeah, that's about right. You will get them eventually. I do apologise. I just don't get around to sending them out. It's like maybe once or twice a year. But you will get them. You'll get a big pile of them if you've won loads. So it's open to everybody, this. Wherever you are in the universe. I'm just going to very quickly check other chat. Where's the chat gone? The chat is there. People are talking about Roombas and talking about Lawnmowers. Excellent. Considering cutting grass only happens on sunny days, why is there not a solar-powered lawnmower, says Beyond Hope. Good question. Oh, the print guru, that was me. Yes, it was you. You haven't mailed me yet. You need to mail with your name and address and tell me you want a badge. Otherwise, I'll just eat it myself. Right, so... also, I noticed how that dragged you out of chat. Well, got you out of lurking. So, yes, it was you, the print guru. Right, so we've got 3 stickers. Butts. Also, Batman. So let's see. Now, I do have some questions today. Let's have a look and see. Okay. Right, we have 2 questions from Simon Reynolds. And something sticking to my foot. I'm going to use these. I'm going to read these out today. Because he doesn't want a sticker sending, because he's got loads, so it's fine. So 2 questions from Simon Reynolds to start with. Okay, everybody ready? Everybody ready? I'll get the chat ready. Right, prepare yourselves. Now, not everybody will know this, so it's going to be a bit of a limited one, this one, but the first one's fine. On the Warhammer TV Twitch channel, where you can go and watch Peachy and Duncan painting, you can watch them playing games, or they do a lot of their gameplay stuff and championship stuff on there. I do recommend it. On the Warhammer TV Twitch channel, there is a regular in the chat called Sprues and Brews. And Sprues and Brews always asks the same question, which has now become a legend in Warhammer TV. What is that question? Go. What is the question that Sprues and Brews reads every time? What's on your belly and what's on your bench, says thy creator. That's not the question. So what does Sprues and Brews ask every week to the guest on the show? It's the same question. And it's always to the guest. What can I smell, says Chris. That's probably you, dude. I'm guessing not a lot of Warhammer TV viewers that nobody ever... Do you guys not watch Painting with Peachy and Duncan? It's really good. It's good fun for like 2 hour long program. It's actually quite funny. You should go and watch it. Go and watch it on the Twitch channel. Painting with... I think they've got a couple of episodes on the YouTube channel, but the rest are all on their Twitch channel. I don't think anyone watches Hang Out and Paint. Oh no. Yes, you guys should. He says you should. You should watch Hang Out and Paint with Peachy. It is really, really good. We may have to nix this one. I'll give it a countdown. If anybody doesn't get it in the next 10 seconds. Ready? 10, 9, the very long seconds. 8, 7, 6. Thy creator says, wait. 5, 4. Somebody's now scribbling through an episode of Hang Out and Paint with Peachy to see where that question's asked. 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah, nobody's got it. Nobody's got it. Okay, well, we'll move on to the next one. But the answer was, basically, every time they have a different guest on the show each week, every couple of weeks. It's Peachy and Duncan painting. They have a different guest each time. And Sprues and Brews is one of the people in the chat, and he always asks them, what is your favourite sprue and what is your favourite brew? Because he has a website, Sprues and Brews. And the favourite brew is, of course, usually tea, or if anybody says coffee, they are just beaten up. They're given looks by Peachy and Duncan. And favourite sprue is, what's your favourite kit? So he always asks, what's your favourite sprue and what's your favourite brew? So there you go. We won't ask that because that's theirs. That's nothing to do with us. Right, so there you go. That one didn't work, so nobody won a sticker. So you've still got butts, and also Batman to play for. So, second question, and I appreciate that Simon says I am backing myself into a corner with this question. I am. Not only do I not fact check, I do not necessarily share the opinions of the question that is being asked. So this question does not reflect the opinions of this channel or this program or the BBC in general. Right, so anyway, here we go. Silly question from Simon. Okay, ready? What topping is just wrong on pizza? Go. I can't say I agree with this answer, but what topping is wrong on pizza? Thy creator says pineapple. That is the correct answer that I was given by Simon. Not necessarily the correct answer in my opinion. But yes, he says the answer is pineapple. So well done, thy creator. You win yourself a sticker. Would you like butts? Would you like butts? Or would you like also Batman? Simon Reynolds says winner. Yes. Yes, you forgot the bit that I could say it doesn't necessarily affect the opinions of this channel. Haha. So I thought it was backing me into a corner there. So which one would you like, thy creator? Butts. Okay, do you want butts or do you want butts? He didn't think that one through, did you? Do you want butts or butts? Do you want Fester or do you want Butcher that model? Outsmarted, darn, says Simon Reynolds. Yes. You have to get up pretty early in the morning to outsmart Fox. Either. Oh, right. There you go. That one. If I'm allowed to choose. There we go. So you can have the Dave the Butcher that model one. Walter Wilmore says pineapple is not a pizza topping, so I would never have considered it. Pineapple is a pizza topping, and it's a delightful pizza topping. Yeah. There we go. So, thy creator. Well done. Remember, if you win a sticker today, you just need to send me an email. Where's my hand? To fox@modelmakingguru.com. The address is always on screen down there. Send me an email to fox@modelmakingguru.com and just tell me that you've won a sticker and which one you've won. If you've already got stickers waiting to come out to you, send me an email anyway, because I use my inbox as a to-do list. If I've got 5 emails from you saying you owe me a sticker, then now I've got to send you at least 5 stickers. So there you go. That's that first question. Next question. Thank you for those, Simon. That's awesome. Tried to trick me there. I see what you did. Right, so now we have a question from Dave Wiserum Gombarka, who is also Dave at Butcher That Model. Everybody ready? And now this is a Warhammer question, so get yourself prepared. T. Beyond Hope says, "Sigh, not outsmarted. Everyone just agrees with you, except me, because I like pineapple on pizza. Pineapple's good, pizza's good. Combining 2 good things together is never a bad thing." Right, so question. Everybody ready? Right. Arkan the Black is the Mortarch of what? Go. Arkan the Black is the Mortarch of... I didn't know this. This might not get an answer, but we'll find out. Si might know this. Do sit on your hands, Dave, says Dad. Puffin, says Chris at Gross Models. Somebody should be the Mortarch of Puffins. Good question, Dave, says Si. Iron Warriors. Thy creator is in again with Sacrament. Yes, Arkan the Black is the Mortarch of Sacrament. I have no idea what any of that means. No idea at all. No idea. So, thy creator, well done. You've won yourself another sticker. Would you like Butts again? Or would you like also Batman? Which one would you prefer? Do. Butts. He wants Butts again. Really likes his Butts, doesn't he? Thy creator. Got a thing for Butts. I can't write and talk at the same time. I could make lots of jokes about that, but I won't. I will. So well done. That's 2 for thy creator. So we've got 1 left now. His dad's Scaly Model sticker. Also, Batman. Beyond Hope says, puffins go well on pizzas, allegedly. Well, they eat them a bit, though, don't they? Until they eat them. Okay, right, here we go. Here's a question from Isaac Eng, who is one of our regulars. You might have to... I've got to try and pronounce this now. Okay, now I don't know if anybody will get this, because I don't know how I'm going to be able to pronounce it, so you can Google search it. Everybody ready? How many zeros... Here we go. How many zeros are in quinvigintillion or quintrillion? So how many zeros are there in quinvigintillion, or also known as a vigintiquintrillion? Go. A lot, says Tyrone Key. Don't know if anybody will get this one, because I don't know if the way I pronounced it will mean you can Google search it. I'll try again. It's a quinvigintillion or a vigintiquintrillion. It might be vigintiquintrillion or a quinvigintillion. I don't know. Don't think anybody's going to get this one. That's a new prefix to me, says Adster. Nobody's written Carl Sagan yet. Would it be millions and billions? If you wish to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe. Earth is the shore of the cosmic ocean. Recently, we waded a little way out, and the water seems inviting. Don't think I'm just going to get this one. I shall give it a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope, nobody's got it. Apparently, it's 1,078 zeros is a quinvigintillion or a vigintiquintrillion. Apparently, 1,078 zeros. So there you go. Now you know something. Okay, we'll try a different question then. Right, so another question. Everybody ready? Fox, you can take over the Optimus Prime, dude. 5, 4. George says no, it's 10 to the 78th. The answer I've been given is 1 times 1078. Remember, I don't necessarily know myself. I don't check it. So I would have said something along one of the... I don't know. Did anybody say 78th? I have to go off whatever answer I've been given. Okay, we'll try a different one then. Everybody ready for this one? Don't overthink this one. We'll try this one instead. Ready? What are we doing now? Talking in chat. Okay, well, we're going to scrap that one because I have to go off the answer I got in the email. I don't know if it's a right answer or not, so we'll scrap that question. I had 1 times 1078. I can't go off anything but that. Never mind. Moving on. No need for swearing. Okay, let's do a different question then. Everybody ready? Don't overthink this one. What is the smallest number greater than 0? Go. What is the smallest number greater than 0? Whole number. Stevie and Junior Outdoors is correct with 1. It's kind of obvious, but it's a fun little question. So Stevie and Junior Outdoors, well done. You've won yourself a sticker. You've also won yourself also Batman, a scaly model sticker. Well done. So Stevie and Junior. There you go. Well done. So what you need to do is bot me an email to fox@modelmakingguru.com and just tell me that you've won a sticker. When you do send it, make sure you put it in the title of the email as well, just so I can quickly scroll through the list of all my emails in my inbox and have a look and see what's going on and who's sending me mails for what, and I can see them. So there you go. So well done. Send me an email, tell me you want a sticker, and at some point in the future, I'll get them all sent out to everybody. Thank you everyone for taking part. Remember, if you're sending me a question answer, I don't check them, so do try and make sure you send me the correct answer, otherwise it upsets people in chat. So do try and send me the correct answer. Never mind, moving on swiftly. Handbrake turn. Right, where are we up to? After we've just broken everybody in chat now. Right, so we're going to glue all these little dudes together, so thank you everybody for that. Well done. Right, so we have this chap here. Oh, what's that? Sending me emails. Hang on, let's see what that is. That is not emails. Okay, cool. Right. Let's get some stuff built. So we have the dude to build in his cupola that I had to go and rescue from my bits box. There's my instructions. So this should be fairly straightforward. I need my space helmet so I can see. Time we are 5 o'clock. Ooh, we've got an hour left. Don't know what plan is for dinner tonight, actually. Having asked the what's everybody's bench and belly question earlier on, I never actually asked or considered what I'm having for my dinner. No idea. Right. So we want to get both of these weapons that we've done now. We've got both. I'm going to move this so you can. It's not in the way. Oops. Both the weapons. So we've got the melter / flamer, and we have the bolter with the big ass blade on it. They're just going to go onto the pintle. Thy creator says, chat copy paste error, my bad, says thy creator. Not to worry, mate. Thy creator apologises profusely for the copy paste error that gave him the wrong answer. Yes, do double check when you're sending me stuff that it is the right answer. Never mind. Anyway, right, where are we? So we've got to glue these little fellows on. So I don't want to glue them together or just glue them to the pintle. Let's do it on camera, shall we? Hello. Beyond Hope says, help, nobody move. I've just dropped a photo etch box for me tank and I can't find it. Oh. That's probably a bad idea. It could be worse. It could be a clear part. That really would suck. Nothing worse than dropping a clear part. Yeah, clear parts can suck when you drop them. I still never forget dropping a clear part for a Gunbler build and then finding it in the bathroom like a month later. Break out the magnet, says Paul. Oops. Right, I'm going to have to glue this first, aren't I? Let's just get this thing glued first so it doesn't whiz around everywhere. I didn't want to put glue there. Yes. Oh, well, I've done it now. I didn't mean to put glue there. Never mind. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, I don't want to glue it straight away because I don't know where his arms are going to go. So we'll put that to one side. We'll sort that out in a minute. It's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. Right, so let's just get the guy in his turret first. I need to make this guy, and then I know where. Difficulty with these is I've got to get the gun lined up with his arms holding the triggers. So, So if we glue him in first, let's get him inserted first. Gentlemen, insert your lower halves. Do it on camera. Keep forgetting where the camera is. Oops. Roughly figure out that his torso is there. That's going to be fine. Panic over, found it, and then ain't bent out of shape, says Beyond Hope. Jolly good. Jolly good. Okay, that's there. We have the upper half we need to build, which is fairly straightforward. He says, not quite knowing. That's going to go there. So we'll get that bit glued together. Roger, glowing now. I think something to talk about now. Oops. I'm bereft of conversation. Can't think of what to talk about. We'll stick his head in there. I'm always a big believer in making the faces of the heads of these dudes not be looking straight forward because that's really boring. So I like to have them like looking off to the side or somewhere else that's not wherever their actual physical body is pointing. It's just more interesting if they're looking off to the side or they've got a jaunty angle of their neck or the head or something. Something like that. Just makes life a bit more interesting. Oops, or his head could just fall out. Although I think with this guy in his armour, I think he's kind of a bit restricted to looking straight ahead or to the right. Okay, fine. I'll have him looking over to the right. Fine. If I must. If I must. There we go. There, we have his arms, but I don't want to glue those on yet. Because, again, this is where I need to line up. You get a juggling act now. You need to line up the arms and the weapon. So, what I'm going to do is... I'm going to get the... Let's get the weapons on the pintle. We'll get them glued on. They'll have some wiggle room to move around. That's probably a better way to do this, but this is the way I'm going to do. Oh, so let's get some glue on there as well. This is the way I'm going to do it. That go on there, and that goes on there, like there. To see, do it on camera day. Really, I'm struggling to remember where the hell the camera is today. Oh, these do not go together. Oh dear, what's going on with these? Ew. Not a good fit. Also, not a lot of glue. Let's get some more glue on there going on the go. Paul Di Tommaso says, today I'm doing some work on my Imperial Knight. Excellent. Can't go wrong with an Imperial Knight. You can only go right with an Imperial Knight. Oh, it rhymes. I'm a poet and I know it. Okay, so that's there. Now that's a bit loose, but it's got some wiggle to it. So what I can do now is glue torso together. Get him on there, glued in. Maybe a bit more because it's not. I want quite a lot on there to stick him in place. Spludge. There you go. That's him in, roughly. Well, there's a lot more fiddling than I thought. There's just gluing the guy on. These crazy dimes. So what I'm going to actually do, I'm going to use some Tamiya Thin. Some full fat glue. There you go. Get that on there. Okay, and then what I can use is again the full fat glue, because I like the extra thin is great glue, but it doesn't grip very well for a few seconds. I haven't put the I know I haven't done. You stupid boy. I haven't glued on the triggers. To the guns. This could go horribly wrong now. Do. Trying to manually get these triggers on there in limited space. Tweezers. Tweezers always good. Roger, tweezing now. Oh, I forgot to put these triggers on, and I forgot how much of a pain in the bum these triggers can be. Oh. This may all go horribly wrong now. Stay in there, stay there. Right, you stay there. You stick to that. A little bit of glue just to lock him in. Oops. Can't guarantee this is going to work at all. Now this guy's got a bar between his hands. No, I don't want to put those triggers on. You fool, you foolish fool. That's what the bar between his hands is for. It's instead of... Oh, do you know, I'm all 6s and 7s at the moment. I don't know why. I'm all aflutter. Let's get the arms on. get them roughly in place. The thick glue has a bit more stick. A little bit more stick so it can hold them up in place. The gun can sit there like that on his arms. I can glue the guns there. It's always a bit of a juggling act getting weapons, and like when you've got like the pintle weapons like that, to get them in place on shoulders, because you've got both arms on the dude. You've got to kind of do the juggling act of getting everything to line up. Now I'm going to have a bit of a doozy of a time getting to his chest to paint some of those details, but nothing, I don't think it'll be the end of the world. Just spin him round a little bit though, because he's not quite lined up. Spin! Damn your spin! There we go. It's better. A little bit of glue there. There we go. And I've not taken his pauldrons off the sprue yet. That's the other thing I need to do. Just make sure his arms are lined up. He's being difficult with me. He's challenging me. You little challenger. No, it's not lined. Oh! Right, this guy's giving me grief now. Let's turn you around that way a bit. Right, line up and stay where you put. There. Good lad. Good lad. Close enough. There we go. Right, lovely. So that is that on there. Those are going to be covered up with pauldrons in a moment. I forgot to cut those off. Let's do that quickly now while he is drying. Pauldrons! Where's my clippers? Vincent from Mr. Lowe's Model Making is in. Welcome, Vincent. Welcome, welcome. Print Guru asks, is the World of Tanks any good? I have no idea. I've never played it. World of Tanks. Pauldrons are us. Oops, knocking the microphone. I do apologise. I bet that was loud. Oop. Pink. Get these done really quick so I can get them glued on. I find it pretty decent, but personal preference is World of Warships. Worth checking out if it interests you, says Vincent at Mr. Loath. David Butch, that model, says, a good game, Vincent, just each battle is slow to start. Knew a girl like that one. I didn't really. So we'll just get these pauldrons quickly cleaned up and stuck on. Oops. Okay, so that's about that. Print Guru says, I'll have a look, it's free after all. Yeah, you can always try a free-to-play game. There'll be money transactions in it, but there's not always a bad thing. What we were saying all about earlier on, weren't we? Sometimes it's not a bad thing, sometimes it sucks. I'm sure I saw a screenshot the other day from World of Tanks, and it had the Ratte, the Landkreuz Ratte, the big German tank that Chris is building at the minute. That's the size of a small country. It looked quite big. And seeing it in concept with all the tanks, it was like, wow, that's massive, that is. Huge! Gotta say, the print quality, if you want, or the moulding on these pauldrons, it's not the best. It's not the best. It's not proper Games Workshop standard quality. This. It's a little bit. It's a little bit ropey. But it'd be fine. It seems a little rough around the edges, a little bit rough texture. The plastic's a little bit sort of, I don't know, it feels rough. It's weird. It's very strange. Pauldrons we have now to apply. touch of the fat glue, just because it's faster. That can go on there. And a touch of the fat glue. It's a good thing with the arms, if they don't quite line up, it's not the end of the world, because a lot of this is covered up by the pauldrons now anyway, so yeah, it covers up a lot of sins. Let's say, apart from where that one doesn't stick on. Stick on now, lad, stick on. It's kind of coming off a little bit, but you won't know once the pauldron's on, so it's all gravy. Get them glued on. Let the extra fat glue do a little bit of its work, and then just run some extra thin in, just to weld the plastic. I can't remember if the regular Tamiya cement actually welds the plastic or not, or dissolves it. I know it, if it does, I don't think it does it as much as Tamiya extra thin, which is why I always follow up the fat cement with extra thin, purely because the extra thin, as you know, is a welding cement, and that will weld the plastic together permanently. Two becomes as one, he says, sounding all poetic and nonsense. There we go. Fox, have you tried, says Pulty Tommaso, the new DLC for Borderlands 2 that will lead up to Borderlands? I haven't yet. I've downloaded it, but I've not actually had time to get on the Xbox to try it. If you don't know what that is, if you've got Borderlands 2, they've actually released, believe it or not, this is being a pain now, his arms are moving again. They've actually released some new DLC for Borderlands 2, which came out like 5 years ago, which will lead you up into Borderlands 3. And apparently it's quite a good DLC. It's quite a big chunk of DLC as well. So if you do have Borderlands 2, that's not lined up at all, is it? Wow, this is terrible. Having a problem here. This man is not cooperating with me. That'll do. Yes, if you get time, go and download it. It's free apparently, and it's supposed to be quite good. Quite a good extra bit of DLC for basically nothing. For freebs. Can't complain when it's freebs. Right, well you just stay there and stop wiggling around, you minx. Lots of glue everywhere, but you know what? Once he's primed, it'll all be hidden. So there you go. So I've done at least I built something today. I built the. Oh no, I've got the covers to put on yet. Paul Di Tomas said he had to pick up the Handsome collection to play it. Yes. Handsome collection is not bad value for money, although I have to say I'm not the biggest fan of the Australian Borderlands, whatever it was called. The one that's on the moon. Not a big fan of that. Didn't really do anything for me. I didn't really find it that good. I think it just kind of bored me a bit, to be honest. The pre-sequel. It was alright. It was just a bit... I don't know. I didn't like the oxygen mechanic. The setting wasn't as interesting. Okay, these aren't going to stick on very well at all. The setting wasn't very interesting. On the moon. And it was just like... Well, there was no... I didn't really have fun with it. It was lacking something. I appreciated the voice acting. That was quite cool. But yeah, no, it wasn't the best. Okay, these aren't going to be a pain to stay on now, aren't they? These hatches, because there's nothing really supporting their weight. So I've got to be careful and just kind of hope they stay in place a bit by their own volition. Vincent says, TET is stronger than white cap since the stuff that thickens also dilutes the content of solvents to an extent. Same for the orange cap. Advantage is it doesn't flash off as quick. I don't know what TET is. I mean, I know it's just some kind of glue, but I wouldn't know what brand of glue would be classed as TET. Or TET. I don't know. I don't know what's what. There's many things I don't know. I'm going to hold this in this position for a moment so that these things actually stay in place. Paul says he didn't save his original characters from the 360 era, and so he had to create new characters. He didn't save them to the cloud. Yeah, I was able to download mine from the cloud. It was a bit fiddly. Tet, shall I chalk that one down to a brain fart, Fox? I don't know. Oh, Tamir extra thin. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Yes. I had to think then. Well, I'm thinking of like MEK and stuff, and thinking it was a particular type of glue rather than an acronym for Tamir extra thin. Yes, I assume that the regular cement wasn't quite as aggressive as extra thin, because extra thin is just literally just methyl ethyl ketone type stuff. So, if that's what I remember, if I remember rightly, that's what MEK stands for. I don't know how I just remembered that. Somehow I did. Methyl ethyl ketone. Right, that's just about done. I think he is now done. I'm going to hold him there for a minute though to keep these things glued on. He is just about done. I shall put the lid back on my glue properly. Yes, always a winner. Swig of tea. Now, it's time for me to get all the lurkers out who aren't in chat. Excuse me. All the lurkers who watch but don't. They watch and they have access to chat, but they don't say much, which is absolutely fine. You don't need to. But I like to try and lure you out occasionally. So I'll quickly say, where is everybody from today? Where are you all watching this? Where are you all? As always, I'm in Cheshire, good old Cheshire, northwest of the UK. That's me. I'm in Cheshire land, Cheshire boy, born and bred. Where is everybody watching from today, though? Where are you all? Just Django was in Slovenia. Awesome. Don't think we've had anybody from Slovenia before, apart from obviously yourself. Osric 9000 says, okay, we're here, now I can get started. You've missed kind of everything, but never mind. Jan's car is at home, I like it. Quano Man says, over your left shoulder, he. Yes, Quano Man's not far from me, I don't think. Let's have a look. Moar Draka is in Rockhampton, Queensland, Australia. G'day. G'day, Moar. Starbridge, West Midlands, alright, says Wayne Hayward. Daniel Halse in Hertfordshire. Nico van der Heide is in the Netherlands. See how people come out of hiding when they lurk until I ask. I love this. Skullfish, says Clyde Bank. James Purcell is Alabama, USA, with an exclamation mark. Porty Tommaso, of course, says, oh, Canada. I tell you what, learning today, seeing a video today of how they make maple syrup. Oh, that video was in the Boom Hut. I didn't know it was just with bits of plastic tube and taps. It cost like about $1 to get. If I had a maple tree, I could make my own maple syrup. Osric 9000 is in his own personal universe. Vincent at Mr. Lance is behind the bench in good old Vicht, West Flanders, Belgium. Soon from behind the ironing board as I have to do my dress shirts for work for the coming week. David Butcher, that model, is in Portsmouth. The print guru is in London. London town, alright. Alright, mate. Yeah, London, innit? Yeah. Wayne Haywood says Black Country, not Brummie, please, Fox. I don't know what a Black Country accent would be, really. Nim Cinderian says, you're welcome. Yes, I thought it was you that posted that up. Yeah, Nim posted up a video of this company that's making maple syrup. But it literally is, they just go to a tree and they hammer a hole and put a plastic tube with a tap in it, and then they just let it drain off. It's like, wow! Of course, they've got stuff to do after that, but still the harvesting is just, we just drill a hole and plastic tap in it. Yeah, it'd be great. Imagine that. Plant a maple tree in your garden, a lifetime supply of maple syrup. Absolutely free. Let's have a look. Nico van der Heide was kind of busy building my Wild West Exodus posse. Nim says, I'm from Buffalo Wings. Beyond Hope, where am I? Where are we all? Do we even exist? Nah. Tyrone Key says, The Warp. Ew. Just say yam before everything, Fox, for Black Country. Okay, now I know what that sounds like. I can't do it, but I can hear it in my mind. In my mind. Right, okay, that's those. I think just about stuck in enough that they can hold in position. Just about. Wayne Hayward says, lol, Dave, yeah, I wrong. So if we tentatively put this on there, it will fit like that. There we go. So we've got a dude sticking out the top now. Yes. My custom, my cobbled together bit from a different kit that was in my bits box. Kick ass. Now what have we got left to do? We've got half an hour. Although it is actually exceptionally warm in here, so I don't know. Should we do a missile launcher, or should I perhaps mayhap? Mayhap. Don't know. I could do the missile launcher, but it is exceptionally hot in here. Do. Okay, so all we've got left to do is the missile launcher and the cupola lid, and then all the sticky on bits. So what we're going to do, I think we might call it there because it's getting really warm in here now. I've only got a little bit to do. Basically, I've got to do the missile launcher for that cupola there, and then all the sticky on extra bits. So what I think I might do is leave it there, and then we'll do all the sticky on extra bits next week, because it'll probably take me forever to get all the seam lines out, because they're a bit rough and ready with these parts. They don't seem to be the best. So why don't we leave it there? So that's going to do us. I'm just going to put that there loosely so it doesn't glue in. Awesome. Right, well, anyway, that's going to do us for this week, I think. We'll leave it there. Thank you to everyone that's been watching. As always, thank you very, very much to all of you. You're all lovely, lovely people. Don't forget, of course, if you'd like to help support this channel, there's a few ways you can to make sure that you guarantee that I can keep making content for you. You can, of course, support me on Patreon. I'll just knock him off. Support me on Patreon, which is patreon.com/modelmakingguru. I depend on my patrons for the income. That's how I make my living. Thank you very much to my patrons. Don't forget, of course, at the moment there is ongoing the Master Grade Sazabi Verkar Ver Shanghai Dragons reward build. It's George's Patreon reward for being awesome. His Patreon reward build is ongoing, and that's a Patreon exclusive series, so you have to be a patron to watch it. So if you are interested in watching that, do pop along to my Patreon page and get yourself pledged. You'll get access to it. I am filming painting up the Ridge Racer, PlayStation Ridge Racer, that I'm testing out the paint job for the Sazabi on. So that'll be a series open for everybody. You'll get an episode up in the next few days, hopefully. But stay tuned for that. But yeah, if you want to support me, you can do it through Patreon. If you want to, though, you can just make sure to like and subscribe this channel if you're not already liked and subscribed. It helps you get notifications when my content goes up. Don't forget, of course, there are links in the description below this video for my Amazon store, where you can pick up all kinds of model making kits and equipment and stuff. It's just the normal stuff. If you're in the UK and you're going on Amazon to buy something you need, before you go and buy it, have a look in my store and see if I've got it in there. If you order it through me, I get a little bit of an affiliate kickback on that. I get a little bit of income from that, and it really helps me out. And don't forget, of course, there is a merch store. You can have a look at it again. Link in the description below. And if you're watching this and you see an advert, if you can, let the advert run. It's 30 seconds of your life. It's not a long time, and it helps me out massively. Oh, I've knocked him off again. There you go. Lovely, lovely. Anyway, that's going to do us. Thank you so much to everyone that's been watching. I shall see you. There's no Monday night show tomorrow for remodels because various things are happening. None of us are available. So no show on Monday, but we'll be back hopefully the week after that. So I will be up with another Sazabi episode in the next couple of days anyway. And then as soon as I can, I'll get the episode for painting that Maslan thing up for you, for everybody else as well. So if patrons, stay tuned for the Sazabi episode. Everybody else, stay tuned for that. And until next time, I shall say thank you again very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. You there. You be awesome. Yes. And I shall say, adios, amoebas.